It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Yes, it's my birthday. I'm 44. I've been very excited about this. If you know my story, I'm a raw vegan. Raw food saved my life. And I've had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed. It's quite incredible that I'm here and I get to celebrate my 44th birthday. But the reason I have the camera turned on and we're going live is that I'm going to make a salad for my birthday. I've been busy all day doing things, but here we are. I just went and got a couple things to make my salad with. Hey, party boy, thank you. Yay, it's my birthday. I've already partied hard this morning with chocolate muffins. They were muffins or cupcakes, but I wanted to make a salad. And yes, this is high histamine, but I'll tell you more on that. I got some tomatoes, I got turmeric, I got some chilies. We're going all out. It's my birthday, even if I do flare up, but I haven't flared up because something changed. Lemons, even avocados, and my wet swimming costume because I went in the water. I forgot that's there. Ginger, apples for juice tomorrow, mandarin for dressing. We're doing very similar to the salad that saved my life, zucchini. And I need to put my swimsuit outside, but we'll do that later. I've already got some things. I just wanted to go all out because it's my birthday. I love herbs. We got basil. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's nice to get a happy birthday from South Africa. I got greens. I got dill. We're going all out with the herbs. Mint. And some celery for juice in the morning. I've actually been called for jury duty. I think I told you guys. But I'm going to go in and not do it because I'll be overseas, so I get out of it. But I've got to go do that tomorrow. So I was kind of planning that. But I've got all of this to put together. I've got some stuff already that I can put in my salad, but I wanted to do my favorite of all time. I wanted to spoil myself. But let's get some stuff out, some carrots. We've got this. I will take today's, onion. We've got purple cabbage. Oh, I already had chili. That's a bit silly. We got Brussels. Oh, I don't know whether I can also put Brussels sprouts in. I'm even feeling a bit full thinking about this now. We do have sun-dried tomatoes. We have garlic. Now, all of this. I might actually take some tomorrow when I go into the court, whatever's left. What's left? I don't have any tags today. This is the new top for my birthday. I hope I don't have any tags. Last time I had tags. So, you had a huge salad as well. Good for you. Hello, Blue. Hello. I could use your positivity right now. Good. I like that. I'm extra positive because it's my birthday. We will get out some flaxseed oil. I don't know whether I want miso, maybe not. Keep it light. I was really upset. I wanted mango. I really wanted mango, but it isn't here yet. So if you can get mango, you have mango. What else have we got going on? Maybe I'll do the condiments after, where we get into, I was thinking doing a smoky salad. I don't know. But you're probably wondering how and why I'm going back to having all these high histamine foods. I think I mentioned I tried quercetin, and this is a natural antihistamine, and it works really well if you have mast cell activation syndrome. So I tried it, and I'm taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. I swear to God, my nerve pain stopped. So I think I still had some underlying stuff. Anytime it flares up, I take this, and I swear it's miracle. So I've had chocolate this morning, and even if a few dots came up, usually that then turns into nerve pain. Have this, and I'm good to go. So it is my 4th birthday. You have dry and frozen mango. I'm not a big frozen fruit type of person. It doesn't make me feel as good. Unless it's been freshly frozen. So, yeah. All right. Actually, yeah, okay, so we'll do this. We're going to get a bowl. We're going to get a bowl. big salad bowl, big salad for my birthday. Now, if you know this story, how this usually works when I do my salads, and there's a recipe below that's very similar to this for you guys, is I start with greens. I start with greens, and I actually start with a knife, but unfortunately, here we go. Okay, so greens. Greens are good. I tend to cut and wash. I live in Australia, and I actually just don't think we have terribly poisonous produce, but each to their own. So I will just, well, in actual fact, I want to wash this. I think I just threw some on the floor. But yeah. Straight in. That goes in. How are the avocados there? The avocados here are always amazing. These is a bit firm. They're amazing. They're always good in Australia. I swear we have amazing avocados. I got one recently ripened really weird. I think it was to do with the import issues here in the US, but I'm curious how yours are. We get really good avocados in Australia. Like, I must say, really good. Really good. You will see when I open the avocado, right? All right, so we are now into some purple cabbage. Do some cruciferous. Crunchy. That's good. We're doing high vibing salad because we're high vibing people. So get that in. Okay, I'm going to move the things in the salad along. Now, I like to do noodles. If you follow me, you know I make like mock noodles. I'll show you guys how I do them. Just get a vegetable peeler. We ain't too fancy here. And usually I haven't been doing zucchini, but we're doing zucchini. So, hello. Thanks for joining the live. Make sure to like and subscribe, guys. We're getting close to 5,000. That's what we want. Lots of people feeling good, having raw food, looking after their health, feeling good about themselves. That's what we're all about here. So originally when I used to make this salad, when I only had a vegetable peeler, these are the best noodles. They're like fettuccine. Do some zucchini noodles. They can go into my salad. You could chop them again, but I like them chunky. Maybe one more. To the side. Carrot. Carrot makes good noodles as well. I think last night for dinner I just had flax oil and carrot. Maybe some salt. It was very simple. It was very nice actually, but probably hungry. Oh, this is like glowy. Glowy because we want glowy skin. It's Beverly D'Angelo again. We looked her up, right? She looks lovely. I've seen movies of hers, but not for a while. Okay. Look at all those colors in the salad, guys. We've got purples and greens and carrots. High vibing life, high vibing salad. Party boy, maybe you had the salad because you've spent so much time on these lives. Do we want cucumber as well? A little bit of cucumber. Cucumber's hydrating. Okay, we'll put that, maybe one more in there. Whoop. All right, next, look at all these herbs. We've got mint. You just wash these as we go. Got some mint. I could live off herb salad. I've never had just a herb salad. Oh, I think I've had I've had herb and dill. No, dill is a herb. I've had, fennel, like the actual fennel root with herbs other than, well, I've had dill in it too because that's part of the plant, but Mostly I have it with greens and other things, but I could eat just herbs. So I do like a layer of like herbs because that's what I like. Lots of herbs. I don't know what some of this means. I'm in Canada, literally the opposite to Australia. Yes, you have warmth right now. I hope that's nice. Though, you know what? It was really nice today. It can be quite warm and then it usually gets really cold again before we get spring. But we are coming out of our cold time now. What are we? We're only a week into August and we are coming back up. Coming back up and out, guys. Basil, basil, we love basil. We love basil. Okay, we'll wash this. I've got a bit. I'm not surprised that out of my sink with all the seeds and stuff that I use, like chia plants and I don't know what other plants, pumpkin plants haven't started growing. Mango tree with all the, well, that would be awkward because that's a big seed. Wouldn't put that down the incinerator, but all the other seeds, I'm surprised I haven't got plants growing. Okay, lots of greens. We've got carrot. We've also got purple cabbage. We've got lots going on for this birthday salad. Why, thank you. Sometimes I have the AC on in winter, even with snow, it gets warm. So sometimes when I sleep at night, in the middle of winter, it'll be cold all day. I'll have the heater going and then I can't fall asleep. So I have to turn it cold. And I've seen other people say that they knock themselves out with the cold, but then you wake up in the morning freezing and you're like, okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to turn this off. And you like breathe through it and you rush out, turn it off and you get back into bed. Or I just switch it straight over to heat. Yeah. All right, so that level is done of that. What else do we want to put on here? Okay, now we get into the lots of fun stuff. So first off, I'll grab some of these tomatoes, these baby tomatoes, which are always so, so sweet from this place. So sweet. Very, very sweet and nice. So we'll just wash some of those, put these to the side. All the plants that are in the bowl, we're putting to the side. I think you guys can see that there. We could possibly move this down a bit so you can see better because I think the comments might cover it. I don't know. Is that better? You can see the salad. Move it to the side anyway because we're chopping for a sec. We're going to do tomato and ginger and garlic and turmeric and some chili and some onion, all the fun stuff which I don't always have because it can become irritating. But as I said, since I've been adding in quercetin, my mast cell activation syndrome is now free of rashes and nerve pain. And that was the only thing that would flare up now and again with high histamine foods. So all my issues had completely gone. My blood tests were perfect, but I would get, well, we know I always brought it up. I'd get some bloating and I would get some bit of bloating, not much, actually not much at all really, but the nerve pain was probably the most debilitating. But that all stopped. There is a mast cell activation folder you guys have access to. It's in the description. I have not updated it yet because I never update it until I've stuck with something for a few days. But this has been since Sunday. I have had no issues since Sunday afternoon putting quercetin into 2 tablets twice a day. It says to take 3 tablets a day, but I take 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And if I haven't taken them, I'll be sitting there and I'll start pulling at my skin and I'll be like, oh, I haven't taken them. So it's really working. And I still take this consistently flaxseed oil, cold pressed. And that helps. So what is timeout? Timeout is for people who will just come on here and have nothing better to do but just say strange, uncomfortable things. There's like people who come on here, which I really feel it takes a lot to even sometimes say something. And then you've got a whole heap of people on here that say a whole lot of things that just ruin it for everybody else. So we're very grateful for Party Boy who just flushes those people out. Potatoes, cooked potatoes I have in the fridge in my salad. It seems weird, it's really good. If that works for you, go for it. I don't eat cooked food because I had problems with it. I was very sick, and when I ate food raw, I got really well, so I don't have it. But if that works for you, that's a great idea. I do know some people who pre-make sweet potato. So they'll do it in the air fryer, or you can dry roast it or lightly oil it, whatever you do. And then they just keep them in the fridge and they'll have them as a snack. You can heat it up slightly again, or you can have it cold with peanut butter, or just put it through your salad and then it's ready, right? If you have a few of them. Otherwise, because a lot of people go, you know, I want it, I want some bulk in my salad, so they want to put potato and they're like, I can't be bothered cooking it. So you can pre-cook it. All right, now we're getting into the levels of fun for the salad. This is the part I like, because I talk about this, the ADHD brain. And when I work with people, the best thing you can do is make friends with what you think is wrong with you, because you'll find it's your biggest strength. If something can destroy a person like it did to me, how can I harness that power to make me well? So I shifted all my addictions and all my problems, which were literally breaking me. Besides, I had disease, but I was addicted to, well, I was on a whole lot of pain medication. I ended up drinking. I was a smoker to cope. Now I do running, I do Pilates, I spend all my time when I get wound up out in nature. I do cold plunges. If I can push myself through the amount of pain I went through, and if you're suffering in pain, trust me, this turns into feeling magical in your body. This is like, that's what I thought. If I can get through that pain, how will I first off, because you can feel a bit uncomfortable eating raw foods. Use the fact that you've been through pain to push yourself into doing things that are good. Because if you start putting things in that are good, I promise eventually they feel amazing. Because when things are like painful and over time, like something like smoking and drinking, you just get worse. But with this, if it feels uncomfortable and people are like, I can't do that. Yes, you can. If you've done things that have harmed you, this can feel a little uncomfortable, but you'll get used to it. But as I said, so if you have a brain which likes stimulation, garlic, ginger, chili, onions. I'm about to get, I think, some smoky spice in this salad. Usually there's mango, but we're still waiting for them to come into season. Avocado. Put lots of flavors and depth and texture. So I do not smoke pot. I never liked it. I've tried it, did not like it. Good morning. Samo was asking about your scar and I didn't know if that was offensive or not. I must have missed it. Oh, you can ask about my scar. Or maybe he's gone. Yeah, no, so I've had my stomach removed, my duodenum removed, and top of intestines removed. I didn't see the comment. So, snow bunny, or maybe, well, it's not really snowing if that's who you're talking about, me. Okay, I'm getting hot in here, all this talking and making salads. It's getting hot in here. All right, we are going to do turmeric, ginger, onion, chili. Let's start with the ginger. Oh, well, let's start with some sun-dried tomato I'll put in. I've got some here fresh from the farmer's market, so there's no oil. It's literally just tomato dried. So that gives lots of nice texture in the salad. Okay. If you can't get dried without oil and you don't want oil, don't stress, just rinse it off. Okay, next is we make lots and lots of ginger, what do you want to call it? Shavings. So I shave it. Just shave it. This is so good for digestion and it tastes so good in salads. Just lots, as you can see, lots and lots. You can even cut that up a bit more if you want. So it's like, but ginger, 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 baby. Okay, we've done that, done that. Next, I love lots of shaved turmeric. I didn't think I showed you guys this because I think I ran out of it. I don't know. Here we are though. We will shave that. I actually think I'm going to put a little, like 1 or 2 Brussels sprouts in this, just for extra depth in the salad. As much as you want of all this fresh stuff I say, like look at that, it's glowy, it makes you glow. So we want this. We want the glow off the plants, and we thank them for their glow. Okay, that's in. Put that to the side. Now what did I say? I was going to put some Brussels sprouts in just for extra crunch. What I tend to do is do that as opposed to put a ton of nuts and seeds in, because nuts and seeds are harder to digest and also they're higher in fat. They're not bad, but I can offset having as many nuts or seeds by having something crunchy or more in depth like Brussels sprouts or cauliflower or broccolini or who's that? You hate sprouts. Well, don't have sprouts. You making a love potion? No, I'm making a health potion. This is what will make you feel healthy, amazing. If you put enough flavors in here, not only will it taste amazing, your body will want more and more and more and more and more. And you can taper the flavors here. There is in the description a recipe, like a general recipe, but trust me, if you like it a bit sweeter, put more mango or dates. If you like it more chili or spice, put some more smoked paprika. And if you make too much of it, eat it the next day, share it with a friend. Find a reason to add more fresh plants to your life. Okay, that is crunchy. We want that. All right, now what else have we got here? We've got garlic. Now, if you was watching this and you're like, I can't eat garlic, or I can't eat chili, or I can't eat something, what you have to do is leave that out of the salad. Do not overthink it. Push it to the side. Find reasons to have this. If you want potatoes in it, put potatoes in it. If you want vegan falafel in it, put vegan falafel in it. I think every lifestyle has liars and poses, but Sky isn't one of them. I'm not even vegan, but I'm here to learn, make connections and adapt new things into my own health and fitness journey. I love that, and that's exactly right. So if you are not vegan, I used to be you. And by forcing me back then into being vegan or into eating more plants would never have worked. I don't know what the other person said. I'm just getting garlic out here. But all I'm doing is I do believe adding more raw plants to your life, or even plants, will help. But I'm not here to shove anything down someone's throat. You can make the decision for yourself. You can go look at photos of me before and after. And my energy levels truly come from this. But also I talk too much to really pose. I'd forget, especially because I'm on a live, so you guys are kind of going to get what you see what you get. That's the words. So, yeah. So I just finely chopped garlic in here. Now the health benefits for each of these plants are exponential. Any plant you put in, you're going to get some benefits. So I don't overthink it, because I saved my life by not overthinking things. I just started putting foods I craved into a bowl like this and never turned back. Like my whole highlight of my day every day was finding as many different plants that I could get into a bowl, because I stopped feeling sick. I was so freaking sick. I was like, I had over 60 surgeries, as I said, 7 major organs removed. I was always something wrong. So just at this stage, I was dealing more with the post-traumatic stress and the FND. I'd been diagnosed with like POTS, tachycardia, fibromyalgia. I'd had tumors, I had congenital disease removed, I had chronic viruses. I'm like, how does somebody get that unlucky? And they don't. It's just chronic inflammation. Every time they chop something off, it just comes back somewhere else. So I hit it head on, and I look after myself extremely well. Now, if I get sick, I don't feel too bad about it, because there's not much more I can do, is there? I'm looking after myself like as well as I can. And if you're here, you're wanting to do that too. So that's what we do here. We just look after ourselves as best we possibly can. And yeah, even if you do want to get into raw foods, I don't even suggest, unless you're extremely sick, that you just do raw foods. I think that can scare a lot of people away. So we're doing just some spring onions. Haven't had spring onions in a while, but it's coming into spring. The more you do something because you want to, the more you'll end up staying and doing it. And I can't force anyone into that situation. They have to experience life and make decisions themselves. And plus, if you do something because you don't want to, you won't stay doing it. Remember, we talk here about what the brain's job is. It's to get you out of pain. So if you are suffering, your subconscious will find a way to sabotage what you're doing and get you away from it. And no matter how hard you try, if you do not like something, that's the brain's job, because pain and suffering equals death. And the brain's job is to not let you get there. So this is why we have to sit in love, and we have to find ways to do things which are healthy, but we love them. And so that's what I do. Now we're going to do some avocado. Now, if you've just joined this live and you're probably like, Skye doesn't do high histamine foods. I have been using quercetin and I seem to be fine. I'm still not going to go back to apple cider vinegar at the moment. I don't think I'm great with fermented food histamines. Fresh food histamines never have affected me like cooked food histamines or fermented food histamines, that's for sure. Everything, I guess, has a different amount of histamines. So I have a tendency just to, here I will put in, I would love to say I'm only going to put in half an avocado, but I think I'm just going to put in the whole one and see how I go, right? We're back here again. Spoon. We will use the whole avocado as a dressing. Okay, maybe we'll use half. Maybe I won't go all in. Maybe I'll just be a little more cautious for now. You can always add it back in. So we've got some avocado there, because I'm also going to add the flax oil, which is very protective with the high omega-3s, which help anyone with inflammation, but especially if you've got mast cell activation. They also help stabilize histamines and mast cells. If you're more interested in what mast cell activation syndrome is, I've done many lives, and there is a link you can click and just get a free folder with some lives, connected to some lives, but also information about what I eat in a day, what it is, what you can do. So I haven't finished doing this yet. I'm jumping here because I put the avocado in. I do want some of these chilies. My knife desperately needs to be sharpened. When I was like stopped drinking and vaping and smoking and realized raw foods was like going to really help me, chili was literally like a lifeline to me when it comes to addiction, because it's still stimulating. And when you go on this lifestyle, not much is stimulating, but chili is. So I loved that for me. Okay. We will put some omega-3 oil. You can use olive oil. I prefer the omega-3. That's gone in. And now I'm just using different citruses as dressings. You can use pink grapefruit. You can use tangerines. I'm grabbing today lemon. I love the acid from lemon, mandarin and lime. So move the foods in the bowl over here so we keep track of them. You can use a blender and you know, or tahini and all of that, but I like to keep it, well, as natural as I can, because then I feel my best. The more natural the food is, I just feel really amazing. So yes. Yeah, it's crazy. It is like literally ever since I got chickenpox as a kid, I couldn't get back to school, and they're like, we don't know what's wrong, your blood test looks fine. And then they found out my tonsils were eaten away by bacteria, never had tonsillitis. It just went on. And my sister, who is 2 years younger than me, has only been to hospital to have her kids. That's it. I think now she might have gone and had some exploratory surgery or something now she's older. But growing up, the only time she's been to hospital is to have kids. She hasn't even like fallen over, though she's more cautious than I am. Like hurt a limb and ended up in emergency or something. My sister just doesn't. So it just shows, what do I want here? I think this is done here. So we do some lemon, and that's just to get the seeds out. And then this will be nice and juicy. This mandarin, that mandarin looks good. Now I've avoided all this because of the histamines, but let's see how well this quercetin works, hey? Do some more of that. We'll do the lime as well. Yes, I am in my, no, I've just turned 44 today. That's me. I'm 44 today. Okay, there we go. So that's the dressing. Now what I might do is toss this before I put the seeds and nuts and spices in. Get a vibe from it, check that there's enough like citrus on there, avocado and all that before I go into the next level of things. You don't have to go to this extent to be a raw vegan, but I love it. Like I love, the more effort I put in, the better I seem to feel. And yeah, I think I will put more avocado in. I knew that was going to happen. Oh. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just hope I don't have a reaction to more. Every time I take that quercetin, whatever histamines I've had just seem to stop. So. Yeah, that's better. So I will put in some, I wonder what seeds and nuts I feel like today. I feel like sesame seeds. What do we got going on here? Always like, well, so I'll grab a few Brazil nuts because these have selenium in it. So I'll just grab a couple, crush these. You can just eat them, put them in. But this just adds more texture. Like I can't think of anything more I'd rather do on my birthday is create something which makes me a better person, which keeps me well, which keeps me healthy, makes me feel amazing. I get to design it. So Brazil nuts for selenium. I do love pumpkin seeds. I am a pumpkin seed girly through and through. And mix all of that in. Do we want any nuts? I don't think, we've got avocado, flaxseed oil, pumpkin seeds. Before I put that in, we will put some spices in. It probably can do with something, because I wanted mango, a little sweet in there. A little bit of date. Truly, mango is like the only fruit I really like in a salad. You can put miso in here. You can put namashoyi, which is soy sauce. I'm going to put just a couple dates in there, which is just the sweetness until we get these mangoes in, which I love. Maybe just one date, I don't know. It's almost off the back of the theory, if you're going to do something, do it well. And if you keep doing everything at that level, your life just starts to do well. Like if you're going to look after yourself, do it at a level which is the most you can do, because then it just makes you healthier and you can do more. I think that might be enough, maybe a tiny bit more. If you're going to make a salad, do it well. Then when you eat it, you enjoy the experience. Well, it doesn't have to be like this, whatever suits you. But as I said, if you're going to do it, love it, because if you don't love it, your body and brain will find a way to not do it, because that's its job. It does not want you in pain. Okay, so all of that's like soaking together. Now, some people who have healthy guts obviously can do, what is it called? Fermented foods. I am not great with it. I would love some miso in that, but I will not do it. So I will do some salt. I wanted to do something smoky. What's harissa? That's a bit deep. I think because we're moving into spring, I want light. Okay, so what I might do is just smoked paprika. If I need more depth, I've got more. Yeah, I wanted something light. Okay, so I am going to do, oh, that's garlic powder. I wanted onion powder. Why do I never find the onion powder? It's like someone runs off with it. Is that it? Yes. No. Yes, we have it. Okay, so I'm going to do just some onion powder. Much as you like, it's just onion. There's already onion in here, but onion powder is sweeter. It's obviously been damp around here, so we'll dig that through. That's better. I'd say about a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half. Okay. Smells good. Hello. If you're going to eat a salad and the only way you can eat it is with blue cheese, then start there. I would not advise it. I don't know, but if that's what works for you, you know, healthy food is healthy food. We all start at some level. So, was my belly button done? No, I had my stomach removed. Was the coronavirus necessary? Do you think? So when I think of things, I don't think of it so much as like a structural thing. I think of about how the planet gets to a point where it's driven into something like this. And I just think the way time unfolds and life unfolds, it was always going to happen. And how, like even my life, there's no point me sitting around going, I wish this didn't happen, I wish this didn't happen. It was always going to happen. My soul knew it. And I kind of believe this planet has a soul, and it can get quite toxic on this planet. So toxic things can happen. Events, whether driven, however driven, whatever it is. That's how I perceive it. So there's no point kind of like wandering on it. We've got to get on with our life. We've got to move forward. And raw food keeps me really present, because I had really bad PTSD. I was scheduled in psych units. I had FND. As soon as I ate raw food, that all stopped, because you're so present. Look how good that looks. Okay, I also wanted to put in some smoked paprika and salt and some pepper. We are good. We are good peeps. Oh, and some sesame seeds too, right? Have fun with spices. As I said, one of my hobbies as a raw foodist is getting on Amazon and just going, I want Ethiopian Berber, I want harissa spice, I want to try garlic onion powder, I want to try, like you find a way to make health work for you. Because I tell you what, you'll find a million reasons to say it doesn't work every day. And the more you find reasons to make it work. I think that one's stuck as well. It's really on you. No one can turn something positive for you. You have to work at that. So I try help, I try to do my part, share how much I love doing this. Okay, this is looking really, really good. Salt. I don't do too much salt. That's about, I might have a little bit more, but that's all I do all day. I'm not like a big salt person. Now I usually put enzymes in my food. Sesame seeds. Look how good that looks, guys. Birthday salad. Enzymes. Because I have no stomach, I have found that having Pure Life, these are enzymes and probiotics, and I just sprinkle them in my food. I just pop open the capsules. You can take them if you want. I don't like the veggie caps. Not my jam. So yeah. Mix that up and serve it in a bowl. Yay! There's so much ginger in this, and everything's kind of soaked through. It looks good. We should try it before I like settle here. If you know me, I like to use eventually a chopsticks, make me eat slower, and then I know I've hit the right consistency as well of like fats and sweetness, because then it just sticks. This is good. We did it. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Oh, actually, there we go. And I can move this one down a bit, I think, so I can sit down. But we will put this into a bowl. So just looks like that. You can put whatever you want with it, but this is all fresh, raw foods. Oh, I was going to put some pepper on it too, right? Move this to the side for now. Put this over here. Just some pepper, if I can find it. There we are. Ta-da! That will annoy me. Okay. I am not I didn't have any kids, so I can't be a granny. I am 44, but good to anyone who can get to be a grandma. I look 55, not 55 yet. I've got 10 more years, but anyone who makes 55, you're amazing. So I don't know if they're a compliment or not, because let's face it here, it's pretty hard in this day and age to make it to 55. Let alone I feel 44. So I'm happy. I am happy. It's Canberra Stroma. Hey! Oh, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Hot red chili peppers are good for the heart. They are. They're good for the body, mind, and soul. So, This is really good. It's really fresh. Well, it's all raw food, but it has a really, because of all the citrus dressing, I think when I add the apple cider vinegar, it makes it more, I don't know, deeper. This is really fresh. In fact, I don't get stomach cramps. I don't have a stomach, but eating this way, it was like my body, it felt like it recognized the food for the first time in my life. Usually when I ate food, then I had problems like those protein powders and doctors gave me and vegan food. I always had problems, and I eat this and my body's like, oh, I know this. I recognize this. So, it's healthy. It's not the middle of the night. I'm in Australia. It's my birthday, and it is 5 o'clock, 10 past 5. This is my birthday dinner. It is really nice. Do you know what would be really nice with this is some nama shoyu, but I don't know whether I want to risk it. Because I feel like if I do, I don't want to set off my mast cell activation. So maybe a tiny bit more salt. Maybe that. There we go. It tastes really good. It tastes better with mango. That's what would be perfect. It tastes light, citrusy, crunchy, but not too heavy because there's no nuts. It's like crunchy from like the Brussels sprouts and the fresh greens, and you got the ginger and turmeric and garlic and chili, and every mouthful's like a surprise. So, is it Swabden 15? One Swabden says, imagine doing this with fresh veggies from your tropical garden. There's a girl called Raw Christina who does that. If I pick from like a random garden, which is even by the road, some fresh beans, I feel electric. Doing this, like imagine like instead of going to the shops, all you do is come home and go through your garden and be like, I have some greens and some chili and this looks ripe. Oh my God, you'd be like electric. More electric. I'm not in the UK. Pineapple would be good in this actually, but yeah, it's definitely not in season if mango's not. I get the mango angst this time of year because it's coming. And then in spring it drops like heaven. And even though we have it all through summer, spring it's like firm and nice. And as you get after summer, after Christmas, because our Christmas is in summer, it gets a bit soggy. Still good. But I like spring fruit. The summer fruit, our summer fruit, I like in spring because it's not too sloppy. Too much raw, not good for those with thyroid. Well, no, that's not really true because Dr. Brooke Golden, all I see in her group is all those people eating her raw foods with high omega-3s like myself, and all their thyroid levels correct themselves. It's like basically what I'm doing is eating what a human should eat and the body just corrects itself. It's not that it goes in and fixes anything, but just allows the body to do what it's supposed to do. That's what it feels like. I am a bit of a bunny. Do you know? Um, harissa is good. But do you know, when you make something this light, I think you've got to keep it there. But I bet if I was in autumn, I would go for it. But it's because I'm getting like the spring vibes. I'm trying to vibe into spring. Yeah, like if I did zucchini noodles with like tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, dates in a blender, and some tahini and a harissa sauce, like I made noodles, that would be like a real comfort meal. But I think the vibe I was going for was it was warm, it's my birthday, and I healed myself with this type of salad, so it's very nostalgic, but it is very fresh. But that's how you feel. And just say you eat as much as you can and you've got a whole bowl of it left. You're energized to do something. I think that tricks people too, because a lot of the time when you're on this, you can't just lay in front of a television because you've got energy and people get uncomfortable with change. But just say you go do something, like, I don't know, you've got to call a friend, finish an email. If you get hungry again, don't stress, just eat more of it. Like, don't overthink it. Be like, I can't do this. And if you do eat something that's wrong, still give yourself credit for eating this. Like, don't be like, I'm not going to do that again because I was still hungry. I did a reel and I swear to goodness that the reason my hair grew back, because I lost my hair. Anyone new here, I'll show you some of the photos. It's all because of these little things that are good for me. And I believe every good choice is rewarded, but it's just not rewarded instantly if it's non-addictive. So, but if you keep adding them up, you get lots of good rewards. But I feel like all the rewards that come in my life are because I keep trying to make the best choices I can every day. Here we go. So that was when I started and I lost most of my hair. I just started eating this salad, like in the afternoons and at night. But then a few years before that, when I was at my sickest, before I like lost my memory, I'd lost my stomach there, but doctors couldn't get my body to absorb anything. They were giving me like shakes and I didn't think I was going to make it. And then I dissociated and had a whole other journey to go through. But we are here now. We are healthy. We are 44. It is 5:15 here. Don't you have stomach cramps? Oh no, we already did this. You already asked that. No, we don't have stomach cramps. Do you want to travel where you can live healthy, easy? So my reality is I want to be an expert at being raw wherever I am, so that I don't be like, I can't do that because I can't leave this Hawaiian island. I can't do that because I can't leave Bali. I'm not going there because I'm like, how do I get there and nail being raw? How do I go there and nail being raw? Especially when I first started, how do I do everything? Because I missed most of my life. And there's two things to that. When you first get on this lifestyle, of course, if you've got stuff you want to work through and heal, go be on a beach, be alone, eat fruits, eat some greens, sit in solace, forget about the world you knew. But the reality of it is this world is dense. It is dense. Now, people eating very dense foods, like a lot of processed food and a lot of cooked charred meats and huge amounts of it, they're eating too dense for this planet and killing themselves. But if you continue to eat light, what most raw foodists say is, oh, I can't go back because now I'm allergic to everything. I'm so sensitive. Just like, well, I was already sensitive, but you have to eat a bit denser mineral-wise and also protective-wise. I feel fats. I don't mean a lot, but especially women, 25% fat in their body more than men. So just realize that you can definitely do that, but the more you stay away, the worse you will think the world is, because you just won't match. But that doesn't mean you will stay healthier. So people will state that a lot of people who are raw vegan or fruitarian don't look great. And that's because maybe they've gone too high for this planet and they're not now well. I believe that we're better off to just match the planet at the higher frequency of, like, just say the planet has a consciousness, right? And it has, like, obviously different places have different levels of like frequency. And I believe stay in the higher frequency, but you go too high, you'll be like, I don't want to be around that person. You start becoming negative. But if you're too low, you become negative. So it's about staying in balance, and that's what I like to think of it. So instead of being, because the more I'm scared of something, the more it becomes toxic in my body and brain. So when someone mentions something, I'll be like, don't like that. And you screw up your face and the muscles, and you hold that negative energy that's toxic. Like Dr. Emoto's work, where he does that experiment where he says bad words to one bottle of water, good words to another, and basically you can see disease and you can see sacred geometry in the good and love and hope words in the crystals, and you can see disease and mold and bacteria in the shape of the crystals in the water that he said negative words to. And that is, we're 80% water, 70 to 80% water. So if you start feeling like scared of things, so I make it a rule to like find a way to be like, I have all this energy now, I can experience life. Like, I don't want to be scared of it, but I have a lot of respect for people as well who do want to disconnect completely. But for me, that's not, I just feel my calling was not there. I believed it was there for years, but that to me is how I stayed so high raw, because I ate only everything fresh for years, nothing in a packet. So when I was healing, mostly fruit. But my stomach had a perforated ulcer in it that rotted up into the stomach higher up and down into the intestine. So it was in the duodenum. They tried to save it. They couldn't. Tried to save it. They couldn't. And then they took it out. Raw vegan cures mental health issues 100%. If I was to say the first thing that you can completely change very quickly, it's your mental health. As long as you do it so you're comfortable. A lot of people go into this and they'll eat very light, thinking that will heal them quicker. But it can be, I find like that you've got to have like enough greens, enough nuts and seeds, enough, denser fruits. Don't be scared. If you eat raw for 4 weeks and tell me you still have the same mental health, I actually won't believe you. I'm not saying it'll be completely cured, but the first thing when I work with people who have had extreme health issues, they don't even know they have PTSD. When you talk to a lot of people as a health coach, when you first work with them, they constantly dart back. You will say something and they come at you with a block and dart back. And I'm used to it. But then after 3 or 4 weeks of eating raw food, it's like talking to a different person. Like, they've completely changed. They see, that's what's interesting, is most people come onto this lifestyle to heal disease, but very quickly, all they talk about is their purpose and their life force and their connection to nature. You very rarely see people, unless they're eating too light and they're kind of harming themselves in a way, continue to talk about disease. When I find people that have found their level of raw, most things go, and they just, things they forgot they had, that dislocated shoulder problem they had from football when they're younger, that was always there. They didn't know themselves without it. Gone. Vision problems, gone. Everything, because the body self-corrects, because we're spending like 80% of energy on digestion with meats and processed foods and overeating and getting depressed and eating more and putting medications in and toxic things and all sorts of things. And then you just pull all of that back and eat electric food that's raw. I was vegan, cooked food vegan, and every time I tried to go back and eat something cooked, I end up in bed. That's how I knew that this worked for me. But yeah, mental health is like, it's the first one that we will completely change. So what you making? We made it. We made it. We made the salad. I make this salad often. I used to do this every day, but then it became a bit of a treat because I was getting histamine issues, but you'll have to go back and watch it, but you can watch any of my videos. Basically, either I'm talking about how much I love the lifestyle or making food. So, but I love making food because I have all this energy. And so I put that energy into loving me more and making more good come. And it's just a great cycle. It is really good. Yes, no stomach. No stomach at all. So they cut out all the stomach except a small part at the top. They took out all of the duodenum, and the top part, which I think is either the ileum or the jejunum, most of that's gone. Now, they did leave a part of it and sewed it back up, but over time, that little part left just dropped into what I've seen photos. It looks like they said it's a banana. It's an extension of the esophagus. It's just a tube that drops into the intestines. How do you digest without a stomach? So the stomach breaks food down into chyme or vomit and preparing it for the next stage of digestion, which is the small intestine, which absorbs nutrition. And so I, at that first notice when I first woke up from this having my stomach removed and could finally eat anything again, eating meat was extremely problematic because the stomach literally heats itself right up with acid to break that down, and I don't have that. Doesn't mean it can't move through, it just means that it's not going to be broken down. So I did eat more of a vegetarian type based diet with bits of meat, but still I was very, very sick. So everything will still move through the system. And can you imagine if you've got fresh raw food that's in a system and hasn't been broken down properly, the body would still have some sort of way of breaking it down, especially it would ferment. But it moves through the system quickly, and anything absorbed from this is a vitamin, a mineral, hydration. There's no toxins, there's no like char from the frying pan, there's no added emulsifier, there's no added, and that's why for 2 years I did no supplements or anything besides once a year a B12 shot was injected, which skipped my stomach as well. But you feel like you have been absolutely like just you haven't really known what true reality is and truth is until you eat a raw diet and you're like, what bull crap have I been fed my whole life? Like, what else is wrong? Why has no one told me about this? Why is no one like talking about this? And the thing about raw foods is that any other diet I've tried, like the paleo diet or the Atkins diet or the elimination diet, is a little bit of what was going on might have been changed, but I was so depressed from the miserable diet. This, even if you have like a few rashes come up, you feel so amazing. I'm like running, Pilates, I'm like, can I do a live? I'm like, okay, we'll go wake up early in the morning. I want to build a website. I want to, like, that does not come in any other diet. It made me feel a bit better. I was still just getting through, and then usually I got sick again. I like how I'm a car, a bolt said, clearly not American, bro. I think that, but I often wonder if people see so many different accents every single day, they just don't notice. So what's the answer? I'm not sure what the question was. Was the question, do I have any stomach left? It's no. There was a partial bit which could break down food, release some acids, release some things similar to a stomach, but it's been stretched and dropped. So it's not shaped like everyone else's. It's just an extension of the esophagus, but the cells there are still stomach-like, which kind of works that way anyway. So nothing just stops. It kind of integrates. The system integrates. The cells change as it goes down. So if we want to get technical, she's British. I don't know about that. I'm Australian. I'm living in Australia. Did she wash her hands? She kept touching her hair. Do you want to know something? So far, even if I do touch my hair and this here, not really phased. It's like I although this completely changed my life and I make the best choices I can every day, if I nitpick, is that a word you guys use at everything? Frick, I probably maybe shouldn't have done that. But like, I'm doing the best I can. If I get some hair in it, I think there was a hair in it, not worried. If something really affected me, like if I touched my hair and noticed the food really affected me differently, I'd work on that. But liver's got to do something. So far, yeah. Do I like facials? I haven't had any facials. I get worried. Here's something. I don't like unknown stuff on me. It'd be all right if it was a couple of things, like they did like a facial massage with a nice oil and maybe one or two things. But if it's a lot of things, I just worry because of all the problems I used to have. Why don't you have kids? You've got your uterus removed as well. Yes, uterus is gone, fallopian tube's gone, ovary's gone, cervix gone. They remove muscle and ligaments around that area as well. And that was completely different. The reason I didn't feel my stomach was because of the pelvic pain I had. I had a second piece of uterus attached to nerves and ligaments, which caused problems. But to be honest, if you've been sick and missed your whole life, like I know, and I guess that shows I'm in good mental health, I shouldn't turn 40 and even want kids. Like even if I could still have kids, I think that would not be a good idea for someone who's missed their entire life. I've got beautiful nieces. I love that. But yeah, that's where I am. I am 4. I've only been well for 4 years. What the fuck is chat? You'll get used to this. I am Carbo. You will get used to this chat. One person will, like, some things I don't even get, but they make me laugh. My guess is you're 27 years old. I love you, Eric. You're amazing. No, I'm 44. Pepper juice would be good, like peppercini juice. Maybe. It might burn. Like, maybe like chili chocolate or something, like when I do like a warm cacao. Actually, we were talking about the next party that we do is going to be like barbecue theme. So it's going to be like smoky barbecue. Like, we'll make it raw vegan. We do. Don't you have stomach cramps from eating that salad? You keep asking that. No, I don't. It looks spicy. Not too spicy, to be honest. Spice factor in salads when you add chili is completely dependent on fat. The more fat you put in, really dilutes it. If this had no avocado or flax oil or even the seeds, the chili burns. I know you're high on omega-3s at the moment. Does that include dates? So do you mean, do dates have omega-3s, or do you mean am I including dates in this diet? I was trying before I got on the quercetin, which is helping, it's a natural antihistamine, to do just cruciferous with green juice, coconut water, cruciferous, chia, flax, and flax oil. Most of my diet was that. But like today for my birthday, I did my chocolate donuts and I had this salad. But doing that, if I wanted to sweeten something, I would just use dates. If I made a dressing and I need to sweeten something, I just use dates. So dates aren't high in omega-3s, but I don't have a lot of them anyway. I would not sit these days and just eat dates, but I do use them as like sugar. Thank you for all the birthday love. It is winter, but it's not really cold. Not anymore. Quite warm today. Why are you on live? Because it's your birthday. Because this makes me happy. I was making like one of my salads and it makes me happy. Also, it's very nostalgic on my birthday because when I was 40, I'd only been eating a raw food diet for like a month. So I get really like, sit in like a lot of gratitude and like, I don't know, I feel like doing a raw diet makes you want to immerse yourself in life more and more. And when you don't, you want to do things like go to a pub or go to a restaurant and like, I don't know, like have very strong foods and need a lot of alcohol to make you feel like as a way to celebrate. But I kind of celebrate by going for a run and getting in the ocean and doing like lives and sharing all that I'm making and doing like throwing myself into life more and more. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks. You guys are so lovely for all the birthday wishes. If raw salads give you cramps, all you got to do is just eat less or pick the veggies that work for you. Not every food's going to give you cramps. pepperoncinis, never heard of them. Yes, just have what you feel drawn to, but I promise you it will, especially I think it can be really easy in summer to do more lighter foods. Oh, thanks. Julia said, you go, girl. Beautiful glow makes me question my straightness. Thank you. That's a lovely compliment. What are the ingredients? What aren't the ingredients? I feel like I put a whole garden in here. Greens, leafy greens, and then we've got carrot, cucumber, zucchini, dill, mint, basil, baby tomatoes, spring onion, lots of shaved ginger and turmeric, chopped garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, some chopped dates, lemon, lime, and mandarin juice, sesame seeds, some crushed Brazil nuts. You don't have to do all this. You can pick like 5 of your favorites. But it's my birthday. I wanted to do all of this, and I enjoy making it. So there's pumpkin seeds too in here, avocado, flax oil. Lots going on. Yes, make sure to like and subscribe. I make lots of food like this. Hello. Fruitarian is crazy though. I could not sustain fruitarian. I've never had a desire for sweet fruits. I did it for like 2 years, but like really into the sweet fruit for 1.5 years. And no, my teeth weren't so great. I don't know, this to me is just like normal. I get sprouts, there's like, actually one of the recipes I will try to do this week is kelp noodles. Let me get them down. Sprouts, seaweeds, fermented foods you can do veggies, you can do fruits, you can do like, I feel like you can get everything. You can do dehydrated, you can do gourmet, you can make smoothies, juices, anything you want. But yeah, and I find it like, I don't know, I've got all this energy to make all the food. So yeah. Have I done kelp noodles with you guys yet? I think I did. Why am I feeling like I did? Kelp noodles, they're just made from kelp, basically. They're like glass noodles. And you can make like pad thai, and it's really nice to make like a ramen with a like miso and hemp and some dates, a bit of curry powder, a bit of spice, a bit more chili. And you make like a broth with it. It's really nice. What's your thoughts on the recent microplastic studies? Okay, so if you are new here, you know that you won't know that I studied psychology for 5 years, that I was sick most of my life, had top doctors, professors, like a whole lot of science. Used to read journals when I could about trying to get myself well. And all that did was break me more, because essentially you sit in fear and you keep seeking outside of you to fix you. And when I went on to this journey, I was at rock bottom. I had been like, I wasn't even connected to my family, just been homeless, just had psych admissions, had been drinking, my liver was failing, I was anemic, I was having tachycardia problems, hormone problems. Sometimes I'd just sleep outside because I wouldn't go back inside when I was living in hotels. And I was vegan, and then I was too sick to cook and just ate the food raw, and noticed that I could get up and do some things, very simple things, but I'm like, what's going on? And then I'd start to feel better and cook the food because I'm better, and then I'd be back in bed. And I'm like, okay, there's something to this raw food. So I'd eat the raw food, and then I'd cook something, back in bed. So when I realized that my body could tell me what it needed, and I had FND, so without some stimulant medication, when I took it, I could do a little bit. I was not online for basically 2 years. And I couldn't have access in my brain to remember studies or research things. I couldn't research what I was even doing. But when I realized The human body does know what to do. We just have this academia and we're going to do this and all this fear. And so I just followed what I felt. Making these salads was like one of those things. So it made me think about how people are so confused from all these studies. So the only reason we know about microplastics is because it would be in the news or at the forefront. If it wasn't, people would not really talk about it. And I found when I got well and I was really sensitive, tap water tasted dead to me. But whether the water was in a plastic container or glass container, filtered water was a bit better. But the one that I noticed, these food had frequencies. That's what I could feel. I could feel energy before I'd even digested it. There's more to this. I noticed with spring water, whether the water was in a plastic bottle or glass bottle, I could feel a vibration or energetics from the water. And I was very sensitive at this time. Like I'd come off so much. I was like reacting to everything. I'd have seizures just being near metal. I was so sick. And so I refused when I got well, especially when I got well, to read into things or have anyone tell me what to do. It didn't matter who it was. I'd be like, do you know what I've been through and tried and now actually listen to my body? So off the back of what you're saying here about microplastics is if something was in the plastic bottles that was going to be sensitive, I would have felt it back right when I was trying to heal. Like I felt everything. Like I couldn't drink tap water because it felt like I was drinking metal. Literally, it took about, not that you should drink, I didn't think tap water is great for you, but even filtered water felt heavy. But spring water, I was on disabilities and still pay for spring water. And because it just felt, I think I was trying to feel connected or do something. But back to microplastics. So it didn't surprise me when these studies came out recently and said, oh, they've actually found that in the glass bottles of spring water, there's even more microplastics and problems. And I'm like, this is the problem and why people need to take the power into their own hands, because in 50 years, most of the science that you lose sleep over right now will be redundant. Just like it is in the past 50 years. I mean, in 10 years, things change. But so now on the news, what comes up, if you go and research microplastics, is the latest studies are saying that it's just as bad I don't know, I think it's actually worse in some glass bottles. And I was like, I already knew that something was off, because if there was a dramatic difference, even on disability payments, I would have been paying for the glass. If I was feeling sick from that spring water, which I didn't, I felt electric, just like I do from this food. It's harder for me to feel these now because I have a brain that works, can read, can concentrate. But it's food for thought, right? Like that, what makes us different from every other animal on the planet, which even like dogs in places like, especially where there's big grassy fields, like in, I don't know where it exactly is, but I think it's like Sweden or Swiss or something like this, where, well, I think all dogs do it, is they know the grass to go and eat, which is essentially herbs. They're treating themselves. We are like that, but we've got so much up here in the matrix from birth, we don't even believe it. I wouldn't believe it. If you told me all of this, that I could do this and I could actually be even sicker than I was and help myself with just fresh food, I'd be like, I don't believe you, you're nuts. So that's why I'm not here to force it down your throat. I will tell you what I know, and if you want to try it or explore it more, but that kind of came off the back of that microplastics. But if it's not microplastics, it's that the COVID injection has done it. And it's like, guys, hello, I've had so many vaccinations to even get to school. And before that, they're just as much problematic, but I'm not losing sleep over it. And a huge reason is I do stay very present with the food and just feel amazing. And that's my navigator, is as long as I feel good, my blood work says I'm perfect, I do things most 44-year-olds can't do, I'm fine. That's the way I have to live. That's the way I've decided to live. So, thank you, Party Boy, for getting rid of, like, it looks like a lot here. So, I haven't seen it yet. Please, guys, don't be rude to each other. We're all here. Huge part of, like, this starts with, like, being kind to yourself. But if you're rude and mean to somebody else, it's the same as being mean to yourself. And that's just the same as the Dr. Emoto experiment, where it's just making yourself sick. And you don't really realize until you do how sick you can actually make yourself. So I am Aussie. The food is good. The food is very good. Okay, the price of food in the States is a problem unless you grow it yourself. Yes and no. I don't know how much you spend on entertainment or your coffees or buying a slab of beer or bottles of Pepsi. I'm not sure. Everyone's in a different circumstance. But most people that I know that are my age, so I did this on disability payments. Everything went to rent, food, internet, and a little bit of petrol. But I couldn't drive till months later and didn't drive very far. I've actually sold my car now. Because I knew the power of it, everything was going into food. Then I stopped paying for private health insurance. Haven't been to many doctors, so I'm saving money. I now don't need surgeries and doctors, and I'm not a burden on the government or doctors or carers. I actually started a business. I actually started giving and working in disability and making money and not needing to pay for all these things that I was before. So it's all relative. If you just look at it in food, and like I gave up getting my hair dyed. I didn't wear makeup. I used coconut oil, no moisturizer. It's like, what are you willing to do to find yourself, to get health and become the person you never even knew was inside of you? And that's what I knew was in the raw foods, because it just made me feel so good. Like, it's just the way it's, you can't describe it to anyone. Even people who are raw, I just still don't think I can describe it to somebody. You have to experience it. But that's part of the journey. So it's all relative. And also I know how much people spend. They buy, people who work that are my age will buy 2 coffees most days. That's over $12. Plus they'll grab a muffin or a toasty when they're there. So let's say $15. That's before they buy their lunch. So we're already up to like $20, $25 each day. And then on the weekends, people my age that go out spend quite a lot of money if they do go out. And that's not including the nanny or the babysitter. Or the travel there, the drinks with dinner. I know people that I know, it's a huge amount of money, but in most people, I don't know what they do in their recreation time, but what are you willing to do to find yourself? Are you willing to give up the movies, your hair, your nails, all this only came off the back of finally me having to kind of earn it. In two ways is that the liver has to process anything I put on my body, so I had to make it strong. And I've earned that right now to put these things on my body without them destroying me. But I had to also earn them in the sense that I didn't know who I was. There was just a whole lot of stuff of trauma. Now it's just fun and an extension of who I am. But truly, most of the decisions I'd ever made were just covering up problems. And you don't have any problems when you eat raw food. Your skin's clear, your eyes are clear, you don't really need to dye your hair. I mean, this is me, sun's free. And I just believed completely that we could feel it. It's hard to explain. You can feel how much it makes you feel good. Where are we? Where's this folder? So there's a folder with some photos of me when I was healing. Have I gone past it? No, here it is. Okay, so this is the photo when I started at 40. Okay, well, so that's me at 40. Hang on, let me just move out of the way there. That's me at 40. And then this is me 10 months later with just like raw foods, no supplements, no hair dye. There is a tiny bit of like edible grade mascara on my eyes and a bit of powder. Excuse me, that's it. And only because that's at a restaurant where I ate a salad with mango on top and walked out because they put frozen mango on it and I didn't eat anything frozen at the time. But that is all what just raw plants can do. It healed relationships. It healed the relationship with myself. So it's all about what you're willing to, it's not even give up. You get to find yourself. It's worth giving things up to find yourself if that's what you want to discover in this lifetime. So, yeah. It is delicious. You fill your life with all deliciousness and freshness, and you just watch the universe look after you. If you believe in yourself, the universe will look after you. Hello. This is me going out for my birthday. I worked out last year that most of my friends who are raw vegan are online. So I already had a party online this morning with all my friends and we all bought different foods. That's my going out. Like I did go out the first year when I got well. I went to a restaurant. I had a salad. Everyone around me had like normal food. And then I went out dancing. But in truth, this makes me really happy. Like when you can be fulfilled making a salad, imagine what your life can gift you. Like when you're that happy that you're happy when you lay in bed, you're happy when you wake up, you're happy when you make a salad, you're happy when you work, you're happy when you run, you're just happy. That's what it feels like. I'm from Sydney. You can make ranch. If you want to make ranch, do some apple cider vinegar, onion powder in some blended cashews with some water and you'll have ranch. Anything you want, you can make if you believe. You look beautiful for 50. Thank you. I'm not 50 yet, but thank you. Where's my watermelon juice? Journey to success. You have to make your own. You have to bring your own. Oh. Thanks for subscribing, Jason. Hello. Thank you, Sour Dragon. I am turning 44. It's really hard for like, when people say negative comments to me, it's really hard for me to take offense to them because I see a lot of people younger than me or my age and I'm grateful that I look the way I do, to be honest, for 44. And I'm grateful to be alive, actually, is the first thing, and how I feel. So it's very hard to, when, not that you were offending me, but some people get on here and they're like, you look 100, and I'm just like, well, trust me, I feel pretty good. And I see people my age and I feel like I look good for my age, so you can't really offend me. Are you an author? Not yet. I would love to write a book about what happened to me, but that means more time away from life. So I spent my entire 15 years straight pretty much in a room or hospital. And before that was bed, or I'd try and work, or I'd go out and then bed, try and do something and then bed, but straight 15 years. So for me to sit and write a book, I have to lock myself in again and lock myself in with my trauma too. So I found doing this works much better. I'm still helping people. Hello. But just not so much. If when the time's right, it will happen, I believe. You're from Cajun country. We're talking. I have Cajun spice and Louisiana spice. What was the Louisiana spice? We're going to use that, but I use smoky paprika. Do you know your body needs meat? Okay, let's look at me with meat. Do you think I need this? I don't think so. So I pick this, but you pick whatever suits you. And I don't have a stomach, so, but to say I was vegan here, but I had been drinking. I wasn't drinking here. I hadn't drunk in years here. That was all doctors, surgeries, bed. I was only up in the back of that photo. My little nieces and my nephew were there, so people got me up. I would have come away from that and been straight on a walking stick. So I don't think I need that. I need this. So, I worked in Delhi for 2 months, 100% veggie diet. I couldn't function, no energy. To be honest, I don't know how well I did on a vegan diet. I think the vegan diet, food-wise, was a way for me to find raw foods, but my body stopped making proteins. It wasn't absorbing any. Cooked food for me is a problem. So, because you do know meat's stimulating. So people will say, oh, I ate meat and I felt amazing. Of course you did. Because there's so many, there's not just hormones that are added, even if you eat free range. When an animal which has lived in its bloodstream and meat, it has hormones because that's how the body works. All the communication works. Plus, when the animal dies, cortisol is raised. Okay, so anything you consume, you get to stimulate your adrenals, which essentially stimulates the nervous system in the body. So for someone to eat meat and go, oh, I'm fixed, that's bullcrap. That doesn't even make sense. You have to wait till it's digested and assimilated and built up. But people eat it and they're like, oh, and I'm like, no. If you were to tell me, I ate it and I didn't notice the difference until 3 months, I go, sure. That then is truth. But people go, everyone says I ate it and knew that was it. But it's stimulating. So that's what you have to think about. But once again, I'm not saying you do what works for you, but just remember that if it was like 3 months where you've got an accumulation of nutrients, then sure. Thank you. What do I do for a living? I do this, but I'm a health coach. I do this because I'm a health coach. So I help people also eat raw foods and heal themselves. I'm from Australia. Thank you. No alcohol, no cosmetic surgery. Is that you or me? Or both? I don't have alcohol, don't have cosmetic surgery. I am Australian and you're from the US. Wow, I got to the end of the comments. That's amazing. This was so nice. Finn's getting well. Every year since 40, my birthday gets better and better and better. Like every year. I swear I just feel better and better and better. I'm eating a salad that we made. I made it, you guys watched. So it's greens and carrots and tomatoes and turmeric and ginger, onion powder, avocado, flax oil, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, chili. Actually, that chili is quite mild, which worked out well. What is raw bison liver? No meat, we just did this. That was me on meat. I have no stomach. I couldn't even break down meat if I wanted to. That was me on meat. I didn't do meat. I'm a raw vegan. I eat raw food as in like raw plants. Yes. Do you know what I've learned is I don't waste money, energy telling people what to do because like you can't change somebody, but I can use that energy on myself to make a better salad, to make better choices, to make self-love. And then if I feel it could benefit people, I just shine the light, which is just like, this is me and this is what I do. If it's something that you think looks shiny and you'd like to try, go for it. But you can't make anyone do anything, so you just go look after yourself. Someone said, I love meat, but does meat love you? As in, if you're really healthy, then maybe you're onto something. But someone wrote something on one of my posts once. I don't know, they're like, what I was doing was wrong or something. And I'm like, I literally have no health problems. If you can say the same thing, because I don't know anyone my age who's not regularly using like pain relief or some sort of indigestion medication or alcohol. I don't have any of it. Like, so that's like something to think about. Like, if it's like loving you, if what you're doing is loving you, do you have no health problem? That's probably the best question to ask yourself. Yeah. Do you like to read a book? Not really. I've never been a book person. I keep trying. I'll sit down and like smash through a textbook because it gives me information. I think I get dopamine from information. But reading a book, what I discovered when I healed myself was how much my whole consciousness was written by what I listened to and what I read and who I was around. Being alone does that to you, especially eating a raw food diet, being alone. And then so I was so fussy over what I read because I realized if I read it or finish reading it, I'm really taking on that person's voice. So Humans are actually frugivores. See those teeth? They're identical to monkeys, our digestive system. If we were omnivores, I'd still be able to digest meat. Just because we can. Why we think we're omnivores is because of the microbiome that we have. The microbiome is bacteria, it's not us. Take most of that away and watch what you can digest. Which essentially is you stick someone out in the jungle, or even a kid, they don't go munching on a rabbit. What the kid does do, if you put apples or cherries in front of them and a rabbit and a pig, they'll play with the pig and the rabbit and they'll eat the cherries or they'll suck on the cherries, and because they're attracted to it. But yeah. So I'll eat anything to stay alive, but I do prefer. That's at least being honest. Is like, but even if I just look, I will be honest. Even if somehow I ended up deciding one day to eat cheese or something like that, God, I hope I don't. But I don't even eat the frugivore diet. I don't even eat just fruit. I'm eating greens. But our teeth and digestion match chimps. It's like looking at the same. It doesn't make sense that apparently we eat a bit different. Sure, they eat some bugs and stuff to get extra nutrients, but majority is nuts, seeds, fruit. And it doesn't make sense that any animal, this carnivore thing's crazy because any animal that's a carnivore doesn't actually eat flesh. They go straight for the red, juicy, like lungs or kidneys, like with the blood still in it. Like that's what a carnivore does, and their digestive tract's completely different. So anyway, I'm not going to get into an argument about it, but I don't even eat frugivore diet. Like I literally don't eat just fruit, but I believe we originally were meant to be that way. I don't eat junk food. I also like greens and fruit. Well, good for you. Confirmation bias since meat doesn't agree with you. Yeah, but I kind of just said here, what I'm recommending is not even how I eat, so it's not a confirmation bias. I'm not eating fruit, but I believe we're frugivores. So I don't know what you're talking about. I studied psychology. This isn't a confirmation bias at all. Because I believe that we originally, because you eat the fruit with the seed and you crap it out and the rest is used as fertilization and the seed grows and there's a free new plant. We don't need with this idea that we actually think that we need to look after an animal and then actually slaughter it, then farm it, then get bits off it and then put it into an oven and then eat it versus go out, get the apple, eat it, crap out the seed and the plant grows. Like that's just logic. I don't even eat just fruit, as I'm saying. So you'll care once you smell it. I don't know what that means. I don't know where it's going. I say do what works for you, but I am just saying that even though I don't eat just fruit, I believe we originated because based on our digestive system, our teeth, and how eating the actual fruit just gives a plant every time. You don't need anything. Plus, when I have eaten only fruit, you have no smell. Your stomach is, well, my stomach got bloated. I could never get enough calories. I don't know, it's kind of a blood sugar thing. And I just believe that we've evolved over time differently, but I don't believe we've gone so far backwards. Just because most of the people that I work with, when they start eating a raw food diet, every health problem goes. And it's not just nutrients, because you could give someone vitamins and then you don't get the same result. That was me on vitamins. Vitamin infusions, taking extra vitamins, protein powders, vitamin powders, and that's what you get. But anyway, just eat things that make you feel good. Don't do things which self-harm. That's what we want. I would honestly thought I'd never live past 30. I'm 37 now and recovered from meth. Congratulations, Bill. I was very addicted to things as well. You're amazing. You are amazing. What do you mean? I don't know the vitamin C for me. There's vitamin C in. We actually most closely related with apes, and apes eat meat. What apes eat meat? Apes eat greens. What? Apes eat greens. I don't know what you're talking about. We are the most closely related with apes. They don't eat meat. They eat greens. I don't eat bananas. I'm allergic to bananas. So you don't eat meat. Yeah, I just eat Fruit and veg. And I'm going to have a little bit more of this. Yeah. I am 44 today. I'm sorry you feel that way, Bill. So my own life seems pointless at this point. Nothing like growing up thinking here to be dead by a certain age. I hope your life doesn't feel like that now. I really do. Eat regular food. I don't have a stomach. Is that what you're saying? I don't have a stomach. I've had over 60 surgeries. I have 7 major organs removed. I believe that too. Or maybe some of the trolls will actually start eating more plants and they'll be like, I'll have to come back and watch her now. I think apes don't eat any meat. What they do is they will occasionally eat insects. Who we're mostly closely related to eats nuts, seeds, fruit, and greens. Everyone, you have ChatGTP. Pick it up and ask ChatGTP. You don't need me to tell you. All the biggest animals because that protein that we need is excessive amounts of protein. All those things like the huge whales, they're all like, not whales, so they're in the sea, but like things like elephants, herbivores, giraffes, which are big, apes, all eat plants. Cows are big, they eat plants. Am I Mexican? I haven't heard that one. Do you have any experience using coconut aminos in dressings or sauces? That's a great question. So I've been doing a low histamine diet. This is a higher histamine meal. Now, because coconut aminos is higher in histamines, I didn't use it. The other reason I didn't use it is when I picked up at the shops the coconut aminos from the health shop, it had more ingredients than nama shoyu, which is unprocessed, unpasteurized soy sauce. But I tried the coconut aminos, poured over mushrooms, and dehydrated the mushrooms for an hour on my pizza video. It's over on my main channel in the main section. There's a video there of my pizza recipe. And it was amazing because coconut aminos is a little bit sweeter. The reason I didn't get it is twofold. I haven't got it yet. Is there are more ingredients on the back. There was like a few more ingredients. So I use this, but this has no sweet element to it. It's unpasteurized soy sauce, so raw soy sauce. But coconut aminos is great because it's sweet. Like it's got that sweet element. So yeah, it got lots of flavor. Great apes don't eat meat. They eat insects. Great apes literally eat greens. Yes, cold pressed green juice is amazing. I wake up and have green juice every day. Thank you. I am a vegan. Ah, really? Am I? Oh, wow, guys, all of you subscribe, even trolls. Go and subscribe. We've got to 4,950 subscribers. We want to get to 5,000. They eat each other. Yes, they will eat each other, but humans essentially pull each other apart too. Let's not get into this argument. Let's go subscribe and like. That's so exciting. I make a salad wish. That's really exciting. That means lots of people are listening to all the goodness that can come from health. I should have got candles for my salad. Am I an undercover robot? Maybe. What about fermented foods? So fermented foods are amazing. They're higher in histamines. I wish I could eat a lot of fermented foods. You'll see that I don't, but a lot of raw vegans love to have a salad like this with a bit of kimchi. I actually wish I could give it to you guys. I have. I went through a period where what I found out, well, we did coconut yogurt last week, which will just keep fermenting. Coconut yogurt. We made that from coconut and macadamia, but also in here, olives are fermented. They help with digestion. My parents love this. What's it called? Sauerkraut. But I seem to really struggle with it. So far, for me, with mast cell activation, it's my #1 struggle. But a lot of people love it. Kimchi, all that type of stuff. So, I'm glad you're learning how to eat. My suggestion is, if you want to include more raw foods or you think you're doing a raw salad, don't worry about the technicalities of it. Like, if you have a big salad and the dressing happens to have some sugar and oil in it, that's not a bad thing at all. Just you're having more raw foods. Don't overthink it. Over time, the more raw foods you put in, the more you start to notice the effects that it has on your body when you add denser things. Sometimes you want it lighter, sometimes you want it heavier. Raw food, no, raw plant-based food. I'm a raw vegan. Well, for me, I'm vegan, so I don't eat anything from an animal. But also my health was terrible when I ate that way. I saved my life. I've had over 60 surgeries and 7 major organs removed. And I have stopped going to hospitals and being sick since eating a raw food, plant-based diet. So make sure to like and subscribe, guys. We're just about at 5,000. I bought the raw bundle at some point and loved the hand salad recipes from Lissa, but since I don't have a dehydrator yet, I haven't tried to make it. Did you try? Okay, so if you don't have a dehydrator, you can try doing it in the oven with the Dora jar. I don't know if she recommends that or not. That's just something you can do. I have not made them. Well, first reason is when something is abundant in the bundle, I usually don't do a lot. So when I do the raw vegan bundle, I try and recreate, we make each other's recipes, right? But if something's really popular, I tend not to go and make it because I know a lot of other people are going to make it, and I like to show you guys something else. I've tried them because somebody made them for me. At one of the raw food meetups, somebody bought it for me. So I haven't made it. The other reason is I tried to order the mats, and they never came. And the other thing is when I'm not in bundle, I tend not to go through other people's ebooks. I know a lot of chefs do. I don't, because I don't like, it's not that, I feel like by default, I could start copying them, not even realize. So I hope that answers your question. But anytime I have something of Lissa's, it pretty much tastes cooked. It's amazing. She's an amazing chef. So during the bundle, her sushi ebook, I made a beautiful chili sauce. What else did I make? Oh, I made that big Korean burger from Make It Raw 4. Loved it, but notice I didn't go in and do the sushi because I knew other people would be making it. Plus then I feel like later on in the year, maybe one of my recipes will copy hers. That's just me. But a lot of people, yeah, so. Am I open-minded? Is that me? I feel like I'm a very open-minded person, but I'm also someone who will not be swayed if my intuition or inner gut tells me something. So I'm very open-minded in that every person in this comment section or that subscribes or that I talk to will have a completely different lifestyle to me. And it's part of their soul purpose and their journey as to why they are where they're at right now and why they do what they do. And in that sense, I'm very open-minded, but in the sense that you could tell me something and want me to believe it, after what I've experienced in my life, you won't talk me into it. I will have to experience it, go through it, or it'll be like my gut will go, that's so true 100%. So does that make sense? Like, I'm not dogmatic. I know everyone does something different. Even raw vegans can get into arguments, eat this, don't eat this. I'm not like that. But when it comes to like you trying to change my mind, if that's what you mean, you have no hope ever. I have to, just like you, I can't talk you into anything. And we love Party Boy because he keeps everything under control. He keeps the party going here. If I can ask a question off topic, is boldness and confidence in the same category? That's an interesting question. I don't know. It depends what your interpretation of boldness is. I guess so, but I think the word boldness has tied up in it like almost that like pompous where people can overstep the mark. Like it's not as much as like confidence to me is very broad in the sense that like I'm confident in creating a new salad. I'm confident in trying, you know, a new exercise. I'm confident in this. But when you say somebody's bold, it can mean like the same sort of confidence, but I feel like it can also has connotations tied into it of like you have the audacity to kind of even offend somebody. Like, does that make sense? So, oh, I'm glad you like the answer. In fact, I have a 2-ingredient wrap recipe, which if you message me, I can send to you. I mean, you don't have a dehydrator, but you can definitely do it in the oven. Just leave the oven at a low temperature with the door ajar, and you can use, I just use a small wrap. They're just small wraps. I just use, all that's in it is red bell peppers and chia seeds. Or is it a 3-ingredient wrap? I'm sure that's all that's in it, red bell peppers and chia seeds, and you guys can add any flavors you want into it. You can add a bit of nutritional yeast, or you can add carrot. People told me they've added zucchini, onion powder. That's why I do my recipes. I do them, people seem to like really simple. And so I make them really simple, but I always hear back, because that's what people do is they're like, you know, I made your 3-ingredient bread and I added like cacao, or I did 3-ingredient bread. I at Easter time added cacao and macadamias, or 3-ingredient bread and you added dried onion. And that's kind of like that what I do. If that helps you in any way. Oh, you're so lovely. I can't believe how stunning, beautiful you are. That's lovely. I'm so used to protecting Sky. You are very protective and I'm very, very grateful. Food, I like food. I can't. Oh, you're lovely. I'm looking for raw vegan meetups in Europe and Scandinavia. Anybody up for it? So are you connected to when? So we have a Europe party. Do you come to our Europe party? So it's next week. So I do the American party for my birthday was today. So I do those monthly parties online on this channel. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see or get my email. I send out when I'm doing the Europe party and the American party. And there would be people there and Wendy, I can't think of Wendy's last name right now. Possibly if you follow her, I know she travels a lot of Europe. She's Dutch. I don't know, because I know she does the Dutch Fruit Festival. But it would be good to be part of that because other people from Europe come to that party and watch. So I don't know, that should be 11 a.m. CEST time on Tuesday next week. 11 a.m. Central European summertime on the Tuesday. Would you rather eat lettuce for a week or carrots for a week? To be honest, it'd be carrots, but carrots are harder to digest than lettuce. So I don't know. I'd rather just not have just those, maybe both, and some avocado. Um, what's the raw vegan coconut recipe? So we did that. I think it's there. I linked, I think, the recipe there. But when we did it, the coconut was 2 cups. I'm pretty sure it was 2 cups of coconut, Thai young coconut meat. I think it was 1 cup of macadamias. And then you just keep adding water to blend that. And once that's blended, you add a capsule of a probiotic. That probiotic can be any probiotic, okay? I use Lou Corona's Puridyne, but it can be any probiotic. And then you don't put the probiotic in until you've mixed up the water and the yogurt and the seeds and the coconut. Once that's blended, then you just lightly blitz through so you don't kill the bacteria, and then just put it in the fridge and it'll start cultivating. And you got your yogurt, but you can put vanilla in that. You can keep it neutral. You can use it in dressings. I'm pretty sure the recipe is over on that live. That it's on in the live section. I think there's a coconut. It's in the heading anyway. Oh. Thank you. So, yeah. Is there lag? Is there? So, if you're a raw vegan, I wouldn't be scared if you want to use. Depends where you are in your journey. If you're going to stay raw, if you're just starting, use whatever you can to stay raw. Use coconut, yogurt. But usually once you've been doing it a long time, you notice the energetics of food are different when you purchase it. But it doesn't mean, like, when I travel, I tried to buy milk from the shop because I didn't want to bring my blender with me. But if it suits you to have the yogurt and it means that it helps you on your raw journey, go for it. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Something's been happening with that. I need to get, it happened, one of my podcasts lagged out completely. My whole image is blurry. Oh my God, I just got a big chunk of garlic. So actually, one of the fun things about being a raw vegan is like exploring what you can have to feel good. Like all this stuff I've got here makes you feel amazing, but then finding things like chili and maybe like a fermented hot sauce or the coconut aminos, like all those things can really help on a raw journey. I'm a mum trying to have a boldness and confidence but not overstep boundaries. If that makes sense. I'm quiet person and passive. Well, I say the first part about being bold and confident is just even saying those words. And when you make decisions, like conscious decisions, how you want to infuse it. And start slow. I talk about this all the time, is how I got where I am is I had to just accept, especially with an ADHD brain, that you cannot race to an answer to get somewhere. You just slowly sprinkle your life with it. Slowly start sprinkling your life with more raw foods and better people and more sunshine and more boldness and confidence. And slowly you build up. You have to like move yourself into that energy. So that's good that you know that, because that's like you can be conscious about being more bold, having more sass. I'm amazing. Matt's amazing. You are amazing. You're all amazing. We want everyone, Matt, saying they're amazing. We want everybody going, I love me. I love good times. I love flowers. Look at the flowers my friend got me for my birthday. She dropped them off to me. Look at this. We love nature. We love people. We love happiness. We want to sit in love. I am amazing. I am beautiful. I am confident. All those things that you say to influencers or celebrities, you need to learn to say to yourself and believe it and make choices which lead to it. So if you want to be more boldness and more confident, wear clothes that make you feel that way. Make choices that make you feel that way. Be around people who make you feel that way. And it all just starts happening. They are very beautiful flowers. I'm very, very lucky. Hello, Specky Techie? Is that what your name is? You are very welcome, Kiko. Thank you, Party Boy. You work hard. You do work hard. You still haven't emailed me yet, Party Boy. Please do, because then I can give you a gift for all your hard work. I'll give you some of my ebooks. We appreciate you. I am good. How are you? Thanks, Helen. I'm so glad you felt good. Everybody should feel good. We should be lifting people up to feel good, lifting ourselves up. Don't discredit waking up in the morning and the image you see back. Say, I love you. If you don't believe you're beautiful, amazing, and kind yet, start with I love you. You'd be surprised how far saying I love you can take you. Sometimes I run 5 kilometers and say the words I love you the whole time. It's really powerful because then you make decisions which support loving you. Like love you like you love your crush or fall in love with whoever you've fallen deeply in love with. Forget that for now. Don't do that until you've fallen in love with yourself. Literally go to bed at night reminding you that there is everything else there, but you love you. And this comes back to that oxygen mask as well, because people are like, I can't do that. I have to sacrifice things for my kids. Well, you won't be here for your kids. So you have to work on yourself because they will mimic what you do. Like the oxygen on the plane, right? If the oxygen mask drops, you cannot forget to put yours on and jump to put your kids on because you'll die. You have to put your mask on first, then you turn to the child and put theirs on. So you've got, if you've already had kids and you haven't found self-love, you've got to start working on yourself. Because you want to be here for them, you want them to do what you do, that you want your kids to love you, feel happy, feel kind, not just be kind because they're told to, like actually be kind because their inner voice has learnt to be kind to themselves. Like if they see you taking time to brush your hair or to look after, I don't know, look after your skin or look after something in a way that you do it because you love, they will mimic you. You know, make good choices with food consistently. So God does love everybody. I like that. The biggest rule in life, hang on. Did I lose something here? Maybe I did. How can I train myself to wake up early? I care for my teen and I want to have time for myself. To be honest, first part is you probably need to eat more raw food. When I have raw foods, I literally wake up bright, like bright. If you're struggling, usually for me it's food wise, but also cortisol. So stress. So you usually get, we've spoken about this before, about the cortisol effect, where cortisol should start tapering down at night so you fall asleep. And then as the sun comes up, it should rise and wake you up. But what's happening with people is they're so wound up that when they're exhausted and they try to go to sleep and they're like wired, and then it may dip for a bit or not dip at all, but then it pops back up at like 3 a.m. and like wakes a person up, and then they're like wired and awake, or they're so burnt out because they can't get to sleep. So they finally get to sleep at like midnight, and then they can't get up in the morning because there's no cortisol raise after it's crashed out. So stress can have a huge part. The pillars of health, guys, we have to find first off a way to make ourselves feel good with food, movement, nature, low stress, and sleep. Like they really, really help. But food essentially is my first gateway to making me feel much better. And I'm not telling you have to eat like me. I'm just saying is the less preservatives or denser foods we put in make us lighter, like wake up, feel fresher. Like that's a really good start. So, and it's my 21st birthday. Thank you. You've been up all night. That's not good. That is definitely not good. But work is not any of that. I made it that. Like when I almost died from everything going on in my life, make it that. You don't want to die. It's like make it that or die. You have to. You have to do things that make you feel good, because what if you let go of most things you know and rebuild yourself for 6 months? Like you let go of things like family, kids, all of that. But then after that, you're here for another 40 years. Instead of like making yourself consistently sick. That's what I had to learn to feel good. You've got to find a way in your life to feel good. That's so true. My work gives me so much energy now because I love it. I love helping people. But before, school, everything seems like it was supposed to be built to make you feel terrible. But then I had to lose everything and then go, I'm not settling anymore. In fact, when you're on a health journey, your body doesn't really let you sit in a space where things can bother you anymore because you feel everything. You can't sit there. I am eating a salad of greens, avocado, zucchini, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, flaxseed oil, carrots, Brussels sprouts, lemon, lime, mandarin. It's my birthday salad. We built a good birthday salad. I love the crunch of cruciferous. Like when you love the crunch, or when you love a salad on your birthday, when you get excited because the sun comes up, when you get excited for like the simple things, life like is like a fairy tale. When I was at the most miserable, I probably had the most. Like where you're like, you're young, you're apparently attractive, you go to a private school, your parents pay for everything, and you think you don't have anything. And then when you're at rock bottom and you realize like the truth is it's all about the simplicity, because then you love everything. I eat like a bird. Yes, I'm like a bird. I only like kiwi, strawberries, and peaches. Yum. Thank you. Party Boy said, I love salads already, but no one makes them look as tasty as you. There's a trick to this. So you can sit in even more gratitude when you get up, and I have green juice. I might have a matcha, I'll do some exercise, I'll do some work, I'll have some fruit. By the time I get to this, I'm quite hungry. And I hear Daniel McKinnon, who's a really good chef, say as well, is all his best recipes come from when you are hungry. Because when you're hungry, when you are truly hungry, you can appreciate just eating a piece of cabbage or cauliflower. That's when you're really hungry. If people start going, I don't like that and I don't like this, trust me, unless you're extremely allergic to it, and if it's some sort of plant, you will like truly like it. Like you just will. And so in that state, it's like, well, I want this and I want this and I want this. And yeah, that's how I feel like I create and appreciate. I create and appreciate. Hello. Yes, I went to a private school. Well, when I went, then I got sick and missed most of it. That's an expensive thing for my parents. Grew up in a Maltese 5-story house on the water. I thought I didn't have enough. When you go to private school, everyone's got a lot. And then when I lost everything, including my family, I was on disability, homeless. When I found this lifestyle and nature, I thought I was the richest woman in the world. I thought I had everything because I felt good. I felt amazing very quickly. And when I had a lot of things, I came from a place of lack. So maybe that's how I ended up where I did. But yeah. Yeah. When you had to endure the health issues we've had, it's mandatory to laugh, celebrate, and be grateful to be alive. It is, especially like if you've been, and Helen's been through a lot as well, when you've been through a lot. My life existed like this for about 20, 25 years. If I was able to get myself out of pain, I was in ecstasy. It wasn't even a medication thing. If somehow some position or ice pack, or mostly that was it, or a surgery, anything that got me out of pain, I literally could lay there and be like, thank you, thank you, thank you, like just be. So when I experienced life with no pain at all and energy and love, and then I was able to work and I was able to like get my first place, and it's like being in heaven. Like when you have suffered endlessly, like life is just like a whipping game. You're just like, now this doesn't work, you need to have this. Now, and you're just in chronic pain. The reason you love your bed so much is because it's the least pain you feel. Because when you're still, you're not in as much pain. And I guess so when you feel, and even I remember when I first started eating this way, I could feel the water on my skin in the shower. And I was amazed. I was like, I didn't even feel a shower. My body had become so numb from being so much pain. I was like, wow, like all, and being so grateful because you can feel again. It's amazing. It is a very yummy salad. You have to go back and watch it. Actually, in the description is a salad recipe called the salad that saved my life, because this was the type of salad that I made every day to make me well and feel good. Yes, if you have sweet cravings, definitely get stuck into fruit. If you want something sweet, there is an abundance of fruit there. On a chat there were people bullying me and I just stared at new school and I'm being bullied because of my name. Oh, I'm so sorry you're being bullied. I really am. But can I tell you something? Is you're on here saying that you've been bullied. You're actually sitting in an emotion which is very, very difficult. So you should be really proud of yourself. A lot of people, the people bullying you, have bigger problems than you do because they're projecting their pain onto you, and you are seeing and feeling pain and actually seeing the truth of it. Does that make sense? Like that's very, I don't even know what the word is. It's very amazing for somebody to be able to sit in a space where they go, this is occurring to me and I feel this way. And I don't know how old you are, whether you can talk to an older sibling, whether you can talk to your parents, whether you can talk to people at school. But the more you grow confidence from this experience, I promise you, even if you go through painful situations where you're like, I don't want to dob on them, or you will grow from this because you're facing it. Half, I feel, problems in this world come from not actually experiencing the truth of things, and like being like coming home from school and maybe you get an eating disorder, and that's not what we want, or you make choices which stop you feeling what's going on, but you've come on here and you can articulate that this is what's occurring, and that is a superpower. And look, I promise you that you don't want to suppress this superpower you have, and take the next step in strength. and talk to people about it. And as I said, if these people spit acid at you more, like say more names, like you're a dibber dobber or whatever, it's because they have things going on and they need a lot of love. And that's not your job to love them. They need to love themselves. But you're loving yourself for knowing that this is occurring and even speaking about it here. So take the next step and find somebody that you can tell this truth to. So I hope that helps you. I love talking to you too, Helen. As usual, someone took the wrong, I don't know what that means. What a genuine reaction. You seem really nice and very pretty too. Thank you. Oh, guys, we're getting there. We're going to do this. I will stay on here until we get to 5,000. Now, that might bother the trolls. The trolls might actually go and subscribe to my channel because they want me to get off. So what's that? We only need 30 more subscribers, guys, and then we reach 5,000. We've gotten this channel, I think, only in like less than a month. It's only been 3 weeks I've been doing these lives, I think. No, it's been about a month. I think we've got like 1,500, maybe 2,000. I think I was at like 3.5 subscribers. So yeah, we've got about 1.5 subscribers. So, and lots more people have been reaching out to me saying like they have changed their diet, their health, their mindset. They're so grateful that, and this is what I'm always thinking is in the background, there's people who have this on while they're driving, or the reason that they can make their salad tonight or fruit bowl is because they can hear us talking. And that's what I think about. I don't think about the trolls. So I'm not in the Gold Coast. I am in Sydney. This is the interesting thing, James Smith. Hello, pretty woman. It's all common sense. Eat healthy, sensibly, exercise, always be kind, because all of us are fighting a hard battle. This is common sense, but do you know what? It was probably the hardest thing for me to sit in. And maybe it's because of all the trauma I'd been through, but I did find for me a raw food diet made me sit in gratitude more. So it's much easier for me to sit in a space of making better decisions. But I feel like, I remember, here's a story. If you know my journey, I was sick most of my life, over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed. I was very sick. And in 2017, I had a break with reality. So, and I lost part of I couldn't access a lot of my memories. They were tied up. They're still only coming back now. I look like this. People thought I was going to die. Now, I went into a psych unit. It was a horrible experience. I've talked about that horrible experience, but I came out and did paleo diet for a year. And I got very well. A lot of my memory didn't come back, but as I think I got better and my memory tried to switch back on, that's what I believe happened, is I got shingles through the eye. It was very hard that year, but I'd been through a lot. I worked very hard at staying paleo. I did have occasional glass of wine, but mostly I'd ask for tea and just eat like meat, raw veggies, nuts, seeds, cooked veggies, fruit. Even if we went to a restaurant, I'd get like a salad with the meat on top. I was very clean. And I got shingles through the eye, and I got something called FND, a functional neurological disorder. And at this stage, I had been, first off, they put me, because they thought the FND was chronic fatigue, again, coming back. So they wanted me to go to psych hospitals, not because at that stage it was a psych issue, but because you can't get treated in Australia, I don't know about America, I don't think you can either, for chronic fatigue in a public hospital. They wanted to see if they could help me with just nutrition. Which in these private psychiatric hospitals is extremely amazing. So I remember going to these hospitals, and when you can't get up and you're disconnected from nature and you lay there, and the only thing you're going to do that day is get up and have a salad. That is very understimulating, okay? This isn't just raw foods. I'd get cooked plant-based foods, maybe a meat as well, but by this stage I'm pretty sure I was vegan, or trying to consciously understand that I was a vegan. So just plants, cooked and not. And I remember one night, I'd been sick and I was in this hospital and it wasn't classified psych yet, but I was not, or even the neurological disorder. And they'd only been just past shingles, like 3 weeks past having shingles, like the intense rash of it. And I remember asking a lady to get me, and I didn't care at the time if it was vegan or not. And this is the transition part of being a vegan, I think. I think a chocolate cookie and some chips. And I remember eating it, and the television had been on, and this FND, I couldn't concentrate. And I swear to God, having that food lit me up more than any alcohol or anything had ever done. Like, I could not believe. And the other thing that happened was when I mean lit me up, I mean it was like being, someone gave me an extra strong drug. So I basically, as I said, it had been salads, veggies, nuts, seeds, meat for about a year. And then I couldn't take being indoors with no movement and just eating the veg. And so they gave me, it was like being lit up by a Christmas tree. I remember even the television I could finally see. Everything was stimulating me. I was like, holy crap, is this? And this wasn't even like, this was one bag of chips and like one, I think it was like a cookie chocolate thing. I could not believe what it did to my brain. Anyway, and then of course you want more very quickly, because I was at this stage depressed, not moving. I had lost most of my life and I'd experienced being well, and now I thought I was losing it all my life, like everything I'd earned in 1 year again. So I remember that happening, and then you keep eating it, and then your stomach just gets swollen, you get more constipated, and then you're not moving, and then they give you medication for that, and then I get like reflux from it, medication for that, and it just started worse. I'd already had whatever was going on, but the compounding effect of food was felt very strongly when I'd had very plain foods for an extended period of time, which if you are more connected to outside, get some movement is fine. But I think raw is different to cooked though. I get so much joy, even if I'm inside it is harder, but I've never, even when I've had shingles again, had that problem, because there's something about this food. So then I ended up in a neurological hospital, and this is where they were bringing, and I couldn't walk and talk. It just went worse, and I think the food contributed to that. But my moral of my story here is how stimulating the food is, and how basically how difficult it can be if you don't find foods that give you life force, to stay on the pillars of health. Like, they seem so simple, but especially like my example where you're doing it, and literally I was clinging on to, because I'd already actually been, they thought I had some depressive thoughts, so they did send me to a psych hospital. That's how I ended up in another psych hospital to try and treat me for this, what they thought was chronic fatigue, was because I went to one and they didn't put me on any medications, but I remember clinging on to my, trying to run, I couldn't run anymore. It was just interesting how it's easier to grab the food from the vending machine or make other decisions, but I find this helps me a lot. You're a warrior. When people ask me how I do it, I say because I'm fierce Aussie mermaid who rides great white sharks as transport. I love that. You are a true survivor. You can just tell by the way you talk, Helen. You're amazing. I don't know what that means. What have you been though? My kids were taken by the state. What have you been through? Maybe like the 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed, missed most of my life, stomach removed, in a bed 15 years, homeless, lost my family, always had carers. Then at rock bottom, found that by eating fresh food, I could get up. So I started my life 4 years ago. So yeah, I think so. Helen suffered with chronic shingles for 10 years. Most people I speak to who have that like multifaceted, multi-levels of disease talk about the shingles as well. They have the chronic shingles. So no alcohol, smoking, drugs. I'm quitting smoking and it's so hard. It is hard. I was talking to someone about this who I'm working with who's going to be quitting smoking or is quitting smoking, because I quit smoking and vaping and drinking and pharmaceutical medications all at once. You can't expect the brain to let go of the whole process at once. And this is why I actually saw a girl quit vaping online. And she did it in a smart way. She had a bag that had Zims, herbal inhalers, chewing Nicorette, you have to do this in levels. I talk about this all the time, is whenever you let go of something, don't think you can just jump to being a fruitarian or you can just be on this health journey. Is you're better off to wean yourself slowly, because the brain's job is, if you end up in pain, to get you out of pain. So it'll find a way to have a smoke here or have a smoke there, or find something else stimulating to replace it, because that's what the brain does, because pain equals death. Essentially, that's what it's supposed to be, but we've got it a bit cross-wired here. There's so much value, and I talk about how when I first came off, like, my fentanyl patch, OxyContin, Valium, SSRIs, amphetamines at 37 kilos, thrown on a psychiatric floor, that when I could finally get up, I lived off caffeine and cigarettes for, a couple months, because I didn't go back. But that was like the first step, right? And then I started to change the coffee for tea and the cigarettes for vapes until I stopped the smoking. And I would do chai tea, occasional coffee, and then I let go of the coffee. And I feel like what it does is not only stop me, if I start to go back, there's different levels. You don't have to jump all the way back, because when you get stressed, a lot of people go all the way back. And for me, each of those was such hard work. And that's why I say is don't discredit what you do on your health journey, because every step is hard work. But in doing the hard work, you learn lessons which keep you at the level that you're heading towards. So let's say I, for some reason, take a step back and I almost start smoking. Before I start smoking, I know me, I will more than likely get stuck into different teas, possibly coffee, possibly vaping. Any tool that I used sits at a level to stop me going all the way back. And other people may judge me. I don't really care what other people think. They might think, this hasn't happened to me, but they may think, oh, she can't stay raw, or she can't, But in my eyes, I'm a superhero. I haven't got myself back on a whole lot of pharmaceutical grade medications and cigarettes. Like, there's value in, if you're going to quit, don't think that you're doing it the best way by doing it cold turkey. I've hear people who do it. I hear people who do it in all sorts of ways. But in my experience, the value I learn, no matter what choice I make, in slowly getting there, be the hare. Be the tortoise, not the hare. Slowly getting there, it stops my brain ever thinking it's in pain and getting me all the way back. So I hope that helped. But as I said, I saw a girl she stopped it. She said she cried almost every day. I'm laughing, but like it's going to happen. It's a drug coming off just vapes. 4 or 5 days, she non-stop cried. She'd call friends. She had a whole bag full of chewy lollies, of mints, of anything she could put in her mouth. And that's the kind of thing you've got to do, is anything but. Like, you do everything you can that is a step healthier than what you were doing, so you don't do that. And then once you're on the next level, you can work on that. But for me, in addiction, the greatest tool I've had is own the level you're at and use the resources at that level. And a lot of that has been is I'm not on those, the Valiums, the SSRIs, the amphetamines, all of that, which are all prescribed. But I was smoking, coffee, and lollies. And to me, that was amazing. That was amazing for what I'd been through and done and suffered and missed most of my life. And the trauma in that unit as well was horrid. But then when I got out, I realized I could do better. But I didn't just throw everything away. I took one at a time, because if you do too much, the body will go back. So when I had a big salad, I did a clean grilled chicken, but in the bulk of it was greens, strawberries, raspberries with organic dressing and topped. That's good. I'm glad you feel good. Whatever makes you feel good. And I think as long as you own where you're at, it's good for you. They all say Bonnie Blue. I hear this Bonnie Blue so much, to the point where some of my actual content or wishing me happy birthday says happy birthday Bonnie, and thanks Bonnie for the message. And like, I think it's just because she's trending, right? I'm going to give you a like. I have too many subscriptions. Thank you. Though I would appreciate your subscription, because we want to get to 5,000. Thank you, party boy. You're back, Jason. Bluey. Are you anti-vax? So I do regret having it. Everyone, so this is how everyone's on a different journey, right? I'm not anti it, but I would not do it. What happened to me was I got rid of everything and was eating a raw food diet. I was not on alcohol, vaping, cigarettes. I'd been sick most of my life. And then I want to go out and the government says, no, you still have to stay indoors. So I've got myself well, I've got myself healthy, I can call friends, I can see the one friend in Australia in a park or whatever it was. And then everyone's allowed to go out. And plus, everyone that I was reconnecting with is like, you're going to get sick, you're going to get this. So that's why I did it. But now with who I am, but I'm not here to judge anybody. You know, I think the judging is just as toxic as putting toxic things in us. Like if we sit around going, this is like just, it's not good. So I just stay in my lane. I just say like, if it happened again, no way would I. But I'm not beating myself up for doing it. I've done lots of things in my life, but I'm still here. So, thinking about taking it. So I've been recommended the shingles vaccine. I also have been given antivirals. I never take any of this. The only thing I take is this relates to my trauma, is if pain with the shingles or my broken foot got bad enough, I did use pain relief. And when I'm my trigeminal nerve pain, and when I've used Dr. Moore's herbs as well, but I don't like pain relief long term, more than 1 or 2 uses, because I get constipated and that makes me miserable. Besides that, I've got off track here, is they've given me stuff and then highly recommended the vaccine. And it's just like, this stuff does not make me feel good. That's why I don't like it. Like, especially, like, I wouldn't take antivirals. It's all antibiotics, unless antibiotics if I'm near death and I've got a bacterial infection, sure. But that's just my take on it. Not even for the fact that a lot of people are scared of the, like, you know, they get problems in their cardium, in their heart, irregular heartbeats, and or electrical, like an irregular heartbeat basically, or problems. That doesn't really scare me. It's just I don't feel good. Anything that is not fresh does not. It's like an energetics thing where that's my ruling on it. So yeah, my family's tried to talk me in, because whenever I get shingles, I suffer for about 1.5 years afterwards with just a whole barrage of problems. Not so bad on raw foods, but you can tell that your nervous system is just so dysregulated from it. But yeah, that's my take. It's an energetics thing for me. Hello, Sweden. Hello, India. Have you guys liked and subscribed? Because we're nearly at 5,000 subscribers and it's my birthday. It's my party. Make it 5,000 because I want to. I'm your fan forever. I was so sick and being fed on an astronaut food intravenous. That's rough. TPI for months, and it's a miracle I can eat for a long time. They thought I'd be on TPI forever. So there's a girl. Her name is... Now, what is her name? She's been on Gillian Berry's channel. Someone in the comments might be able to help me out here. Oh God, she was on a feeding tube for 6 years and the doctor said she was going to die eventually. So she started drinking fresh juices. She drank fresh juices for 1 year. By the end of that 1 year, not only was she out of bed, she ran a marathon. She's now on a raw food diet. She may be high raw now, but she was last time I saw. And what is her name? It's really bothering me. But you can go to Gillian's channel. I think I tried to get her on my channel. And yeah, she hadn't had anything in but a feeding tube for, as I said, I think it was 6 years. And they said she just was she's in a wheelchair or bed, and she just put fresh juices in and she ran a marathon. It's incredible. So if I desire a cigarette, I slap myself in the face with sheer determination. Good for you, but don't hurt yourself. We don't want you with a broken jaw. What happens when all your mates smoke, then you can't even hang out with them? Well, this is a vibrational thing, right? If you're talking about marijuana, no, you can't. and you won't want to be, you just don't match anymore. Even like, so when you eat a raw food diet, you become extremely high vibrationally. You're happy all the time. You don't want a lot of things. You don't get involved in busybody stuff. And you notice a lot of people you're close to, even if you want to hang on to them, the universe will rip them away. You cannot be around them anymore. And I just take it as part of my life. So I remember when I first got off all these prescribed medications, and I went back to see the surgeon and doctor who used to look after my hip and my pain. And the receptionist, who I became quite good friends with because she was one of the only people I saw, she reckons I should write a book called Sky's the Limit. But anyway, besides that, she was saying her brother was addicted to, I think, heroin, or addicted to something. And he had to you don't just let go of a drug, you have to let go. None of those people are his friends anymore. So those people hang out at a pub, they do the same things, they go back to someone's house, and you were only really connected with them because vibrationally you were doing the same thing. But if you start filling your life vibrationally, that can scare people. But just know what will come into your life will be much better. So much better fitted for you, especially. So what happened? Yeah, I had a spinal fusion back surgery and had to quit smoking. I used the nicotine gum and it worked great for me. I'm so sorry you had a spinal. Is it a fission or fusion? Can I ask why? I knew a lady who went into raw foods who had it for EDS. And the raw foods really helped her with pain. But good for you. I stopped all hard substances 8 months ago and now use alcohol and weed in moderation, and I'm still aching and craving. I still cry a lot and have mental struggles, but I'm sticking it out. Good for you. I think owning where you're at is so incredible. I actually noticed that my coffee cravings come if I don't run every 3 days. I need that. If I know I would live with massive addiction cravings if it wasn't for this, some reason this diet just takes you to this level where I don't feel it. But good for you. It's very hard to be able to do things in moderation. So if you can do that, that's amazing. That's a very, that's, everyone's different though. So Jared, I quit hanging with anyone that was smoking right now. I can't be around them. Good for you. Good for you. But don't be scared of what the universe will gift you when you make good choices. It's a lonely road to better myself. It is. But who you find along the way is yourself, who maybe we came here to find. I could not have found me unless I lost everything, including my concentration, including social media, including being able to email or call somebody, or even push a button to make a payment on my phone. My family, my friends, and who I found is probably who you see every day. And the world wouldn't have her, I wouldn't have her. That's more important, I wouldn't have me. Everything is because now I have me. And that's something no surgeon or pill or vaccination or whatever could give me. And so the lone wolf. And I love, like today, most of my day is spent alone. I see friends and people, but I love to be alone. But I did spend a long time alone in a room. But it's different now. Before it was like escapism, as in like distraction with gaming, or I was very medicated, or I think I'd find myself like engaged in like movies which were violent, and that just I wouldn't do now. I'm like sunshine, rainbows, flowers, like these flowers, lives, talking to people on health journeys. Thank you. Sometimes I'd like to be alone and enjoy solitude. I have a family 140 miles down the road. I also have my church family. Yeah, I love my family, and I think you hit harder when you do. So if you're alone, I feel like you conjure up a lot of energy. And so when you're around like your family or your church family, you have a lot to give, but you can't sit in like that stagnate just because. I feel like a lot of people who live with each other put up with a lot of things. And if you've done a lot alone, you find you will not put up with just being there for the sake of making somebody feel comfortable. You've worked too hard on yourself to sacrifice yourself to sit around somebody who you know you want to make feel better while they go outside and have a cigarette. They're like, can you come outside with me, mate? Now you go, hell no. Hell no. I walked that path. I ain't gonna be, but if you are somebody who has like always just settled for people and done things to make others feel comfortable, and that's why that lone wolf journey really shows you just how powerful and how the power of loving yourself can be when it comes to making choices and letting people in and that we can be alone and happy. You look like Felix from Stray Kids. I don't even know what any of that means. I don't know what Stray Kids is or Felix. So no anger will give you peace. Peace is a happy life. It's a very happy life when you have no issues. You're a smart lady. Thank you. Sending you so much love as well, Helen. I respect you and admire you. Mate, we're living legends. We are living legends. Giving me such a good boost. Thanks for everything. And thank you, Helen, for being you. So just curious about marijuana from a raw vegan or even just a vegan stance. Some people believe earthly natural influences like that can be good for you, or more so synthetic. How is your vibration? Okay, so I think plant medicine is amazing, but no matter what the plant or what the medicine, if you can't stop thinking about it, because herbs work, even Dr. Moore's herbs, hang on, I'm gonna have to get my charger here, or natural herbs work because they're toxic. So they're stimulating your body to do something it would not do if you ate a fruit and you're not having a reaction to. And a lot of people use these to stimulate the liver, the nervous system, the brain, and they call it detoxing, right? So with something, bear with me, I need to get my charger here. You can still hear me. With something like marijuana, just say like I broke my foot at the start of the year and they did prescribe me some medication and I used it for I think 7 or 8 days for the pain because it was starting to bend. It was painful. Just say during that time I had decided to use marijuana, okay? And I used it, and after that time period, I didn't think of it again until maybe this conversation, okay? But what if I used it and then was consumed by it? So the next week, I had a stressful week and I had a little bit, and then when I was at work, I started to think, oh, it's okay. I started to feel relieved because I was about to have some by Sunday afternoon. That's addiction, and that's what we don't want. Whether it's marijuana or whether it's a herb or whether it's even some sort of fancy water with purple, if you are consumed by it or can get through a day because you have the thought that you're going to get it, you're addicted. And that's what you need to think about. So plant medicine can be amazing to like ayahuasca. And even there was this ayahuasca guy who was doing documentaries, traveling over to all sorts of places to do it until he realized he was addicted. So and he started to use drums and found it just as powerful, like the sound, he could hypnotize himself into that type of state. So the question people should ask themselves, and as I said, if you've been addicted to things and you've cut to say like 5 things and you found you can manage it by having marijuana or the occasional drink, but you still feel that you could never get through without it, that's when you might want to like release it, like have it weddings and christenings or something, and you don't think about it in between. Fine. I think that's fine. I think when you start regulating yourself with them, that's the problem. Because in truth, if people are having vinegar can't be too much of a stretch past alcohol. The way they're made, the chemical components are very similar, both fermented foods, but one is consumed in excess. The other is a couple tablespoons in a dressing, maybe once or twice a week, and people don't think about it. Or even if there is an effect, you don't feel the effect of it, which is essentially what people are getting addicted to. But if you were to tell me, you know, I'm not a drinker, but at my cousin's wedding, I had half a glass of wine. It's like you're not. It may have heightened the celebration. It may even have benefited the body, but you haven't thought about it again. That's the question. I think when I went through that experience of being prescribed medications, and then that the power doctors have to not prescribe them, just because and how much pain and suffering I went through, because you shouldn't take, especially the SSRI, that's just nuts. I never, what I experienced in that experience is worse than losing my stomach. I felt like I lost my memory more because of all of that. And I never wanted anyone to have that power over me again. And as long as I was addicted to or had cigarettes or alcohol not so much, I guess, but still there was this power thing that I could not let myself have. That's why I got into the paleo. And if I got stressed, I'd have tea, because the tea didn't really give me anything. It was more a whole psychological hug plus a few extra antioxidants, right? And I just didn't want the power of somebody ever coming in and going, just so they decided to lock me up again. I was like, this fear of that for a while. That was a big driving force for why I got off and didn't want to ever do things. And then I ended up not being able to cope and drinking and ruining my liver. So it didn't really work. There's all different levels of this. But if you are doing stuff like that, it's worth thinking, what would you be like, and could you live without it? That's a good question. Could you live without it? So thanks for subscribing. We are getting to 5,000 tonight. I smoke a little pot occasionally. I usually take 2 big bong hits. So it's one of those things where I think each person needs to see just don't worry about what society thinks. Forget that. You have to live with you. What does it do to you? And for me, also, I think, I don't know, I just wanted to, I think you've heard, I just wanted to know what life was like. This is raw foods is a whole new level. But when I got into the paleo and I wanted to see just what was possible. If I survived all that, what was possible? Can I just, my hobby from that year of paleo was I'd do gym and I'd come home and have those date balls and this I think it was like a vanilla tea at night, and it was almost like a brain thing. Like I wanted to push my brain away from things. That was the new high, as in most friends are having a wine after work with chocolate or something, and I wanted to see how far I could push my brain in a different way. That's the game I would think I was playing back then, but then it folded in on itself after a while when when my memory came back, but it's all different levels. So, it's very lonely when you get injured or addicted. No one but yourself will heal yourself. And that's very true as well. And that's where you have to be so careful with support groups. And that's why here I'm all about I studied psychology, and in my experience from being sick and being in psych units and being scheduled is you cannot talk your way through or out of something if it is your life. It's very different if someone goes through one traumatic event, like just say there's a house fire or they lose somebody and they want to work on one specific thing. But if you sit in an office and think because you have ADHD, which essentially is you, or some sort of diagnosis where you can talk yourself out of your own life, you can't. You can work through. And what I notice about myself is that the things that broke me are the reason I can do super salads or think very fast is my ADHD, or do multiple things a day is the things which apparently is wrong with me. It was all about finding a way to harness them in the light. My breaking things are my motivators and my skill set in the light. So what broke me in the dark saved me and thrives in the light. And that's worth exploring too, is because most people I know who smoke are dulling down who they are. And because they want to fit in. That's why people give their kids, and you take the Ritalin, right? We did this talk about how, my grandfather, he was a carpenter. I don't think he was even a carpenter. He built his own house. He mixed the cement, he put the bricks together. He would then get up at 6 a.m. and go fishing. In his spare time when he retired, he would fix other people's things. In this day and age, he would be classified as someone with ADHD. We were very, very similar. But he grew up where he left school, I think, when he was 14 or something. He wasn't ever have to sit in a classroom for extended periods. His whole life was hand, eyes, movement. Especially a lot of men that I see smoke are literally suppressing extended amounts of energy. It starts to project in a way which is judged by them and society. So instead of trying to learn how to redirect this massive amount of energy, they suppress. That's what I see a lot of. And then they don't know how to come out of that because they think what their traits are a problem. And because essentially what I do with this excessive talking, like you guys watch my lives, I can talk for 3 hours and probably not take many breaths, it looks like. But that same trait keeps me disruptive in a classroom. But it was about me finding, how do I harness that in the light? And it is my light. It's what I can do naturally. Yet I was suppressing it, trying to study books. Like, all being on stimulant medication did was allow me to read a whole heap of stuff that kept me sick. And now I do what I want. I'm snappy. Like, that's just me. Not doing that, not doing that. That is the ADHD, which keeps me from doing things which harm me now. But because it was not conformative to, like, sit at a desk, read, everyone, like, it's like those, like, you know, mind control type things where they say what schools do to kids, where they're like, you know, they're all sit and read the same thing and act the same way. So just food for thought. I am 44. 44. Yes, thank you, party boy. Have a great nap if it's 5 a.m. I'm going to drive to Atlanta at 10 a.m. and buy a new mattress. Well, enjoy your drive. Enjoy your mattress. It's not just weed, it's a culture you fall into. Yeah, it's the same. I'm just saying it in, look, you are, but you have to be strong when your culture falls away. So when the people that are friends with you and the hobbies that you've done for 15 or 20 years start falling away, that's where you need strength, extra strength, because, well, essentially everything that you did when you're in that vibrational energy, which is quite dense, can't exist anymore if you start going for morning runs instead of smoking weed in the afternoon. Is you will have to have a new life and new friends and new people and new thoughts, and that can feel scary for people. But when you know that you don't know many people who quit it and started making better choices and their life ended up worse. It does end up better. You have to trust the process. Everyone who adds more health into their life gets somewhere better. You don't see somebody like consistently keeping, I'm not saying obsessively, I'm saying consistently looking after themselves, where they're not too stressed, they have a good night's sleep, they have a nice amount of food. We're not talking obsessive here, we're talking about keeping themselves in balance where they don't start elevating themselves. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust that things are falling away to allow something better to come to you. You eat heaps of snacks as well. Are you talking about me? I usually do have like, what is it called? Green juice around me, matcha around me. I'm more of a liquid girl in the mornings, but I have no stomach. Then fruit or veggies. And then I usually have like a main type of salad meal in the afternoon. So you can definitely get addicted to anything. Staying in balance on this planet is hard. Oh, I actually maintain myself through love. Like, none of this is a labor of pain or suffering, because otherwise I find I want to get out of it. So find things you love, whatever that was, and especially look back to what you did as a kid. Like, if you were someone who liked netball, basketball, football, for me it was dancing. I would join dancing, and that helped me because there's a passion inside of you that like inner child, while you're doing the movement, gets you started, because it's hard if you haven't done any movement in a long period of time. I'm going to tell my stoma group support friends to tune in and subscribe. Good. We can all stay happy and healthy together. What drink are you having? Nothing tonight. But usually it's a green juice of like celery, apple, cucumber, ginger, maybe some parsley. I only smoke weed about once a week. I do it before I don't know what that says. I feel the brutality of work. So what I would do if that was happening to me is, knowing what I know now, that it is possible to have your dream life, not only be pain-free, but your dream life, is what if you swapped the smoking of it for your true dream? Like, so just say there's like an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, I don't know what it does to somebody, right? What if that during that time you started to, I don't know, just say you always wanted to write articles in a skateboarding magazine, that you start looking online at different skateboarding magazines, different places, maybe just start writing your own mock stuff up. And you'd be surprised how even if you do it, start doing it for like 10 minutes, if you truly love it, how something can just blossom and evolve, and might take up more of your thoughts and time than work. I'm 44. I need 10 more subscribers, guys. We're at 4.99. I'm Aussie, yes. We're almost there, guys. That's so exciting. What a great birthday. All the people that we can reach out and help. I am from Australia. I don't, my back surgery set me back years and it was hard, long struggle. I'm so sorry. Seriously, after all my surgeries, my body, the only time it started to repair was when I started to have raw foods. It gets so locked up. You get like pain in places you didn't even know. A house fire at 10 and then police nearly killed me at 16. I went to prison at 21 for defending myself. You have had no physical or life-threatening experiences. You can't really educate anyone. How is that? Myself. You have had, what are you talking about? No life experiences. I've nearly died multiple times. I have organs removed. Is that you think I haven't had any experience? I'm missing my stomach duodenum. I was on life support for that. I was homeless. I have had, God, I lived on, like I was on a ketamine, what was it? Ketamine in cardiac units for pain. I spent most New Year's Eves from 25 up to 30 having surgeries, Botox injected into my spine, local anesthetic in the spine. I missed 15 years because I was in a bed. I don't know what you mean. And also, I don't get on here and say those things to people to make people think that I know more than them. Please don't, hope I don't come across like that. Like every person, if I sat down with each person, I promise that they've been through it. If you're past, say, the age of like, let's say 14, 15, like even emotions that occur during a schoolyard are so intense. Most of my near-death experiences, I've been through so much before that. The brain protects you. Like when I bled out in my stomach, is you barely recall. The climb back from that is hard, but I swear most people have been through traumas. I kind of don't get on here and say I went through this, you don't know that. I don't think I've ever said that to somebody, because everyone has been through it. Just because the scarring on my body looks worse than most people's, because I've had so much surgery, it doesn't mean that people have definitely not gone through it. Well, let's say at least by the time you're 30 or 40, I don't know, people have been through it. Everyone's been through it. It's when you sit down with people have, and how I know this, and Helen and I were talking about this, is if you're in hospital, the people you end up, some of them die next to you, but the people that you end up talking to, their stories are unbelievable. Psychiatric units up, their stories are unbelievable. I guess that's why people lose their mind, is what they've been through health-wise to get to the point where they're like non-stop in psych units. Is their stories are unbelievable. I thought I'd heard it in surgery wards, but until you go to a psych ward, it's just unbelievable. So I have been diagnosed with ADHD too, and I believe it's my superpower now. I don't really like my naturally emotional vulnerability, and the trauma I've been through made me crave suppressing it by any means. And now being off it all is the hardest thing. Is I'm feeling all of that now. That I kind of feel that feeling that only feels bad because the way of society is set up, off the back of like me working through, well, being in psych units and so many like those trauma type things. Once you get through it, is the strength you find in yourself will be that strength that drives you to succeed at your passion, to not leave this life without fulfilling your dream, that there's no other option but now moving towards that dream. All the trauma you've endured and suppressed seems like that was the hard part, and getting to your passion is now going to be easy because you've already done the hard stuff. And when you first get it, this is what it felt like for me, a spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul is, and why I get on here and can talk for hours, is when I was in like those psych units or when this awakening started, it felt like every person who looked at me could see everything I felt. And I'd never felt like that in my whole life. I've felt that, there's like, whether it's, I don't know, there's ways us as humans hide things. And when you're going through an awakening, it's like, I feel like you walk outside and everyone can see all over me how broken I am. And I'd never experienced that before. And as you make peace with who you are, and you make peace with the fact that you've survived things nobody else has, and it's part of your journey, and you own that, and you still get up every day, it becomes that confidence and your purpose and your reason for doing things. Like, it's like whenever you hear somebody who's got that great success in their life, you'll usually hear, oh yeah, did you know they used to be homeless? Or some sort of like thing where you're like, how did they get there? And it's usually because they've been so far down that when they start coming up, nothing is going to deter them anymore. So I still believe that my greatest strengths used to be this, like it's like making friends with the devil. The things that I could dig my heels in to break me, that could make me push myself to allow myself to, I don't know, have another surgery, believe that, what's the worst thing that could happen? Death. Like, to face all of that and then use that, well, now what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I get healthier. Like, no matter what way I look, if I work on sleep, I work on low stress, I work on exercise, and I work on good food, what's the worst? What's the outcome? The only outcome is more health. And even if I take a step back, there's still different levels of health. There's more hair that grows. There's less pain in my body. There's like, and what I was doing before was like, it was almost like a lottery, where it's like I could do things that doctors said or books said or somebody else said, but I never really listened to what my body was trying to guide me to, if that makes sense. I grew up being forced to take Adderall at 10 years old. That is rough. See, people have been through it. Like, that's like, I think that's like when people ask me, how do I make my child eat raw food? Unless they're a baby and they're like, you're like putting them into it, you cannot. It's like torturing a child. Growing up is hard enough. And then all of a sudden your mum has decided that now you're only going to eat greens and fruit. That's great health-wise, but mentally, how does a child cope in the play yard? And a parent might go, that won't matter, they'll be healthy. I promise you, they'll end up with some sort of addictive problem to cope with the pain they felt was inflicted on them. And it's the same thing when someone's forced to take a medication. Besides the fact that it's a chemical, if it makes a person feel inadequate or not good, and they're still every day it's shoveled in, it's horrible. But it can be your strength if you've overcome that and you can live without it, and you've got past that, you've survived. So I started exercising a lot more since I've been quitting smoking. I slap myself in the face, do push-ups, curl, tight doubles, kick and punch stuff. It's a really good, when you let go of something which was blocking trauma, a lot of the time, I remember when I was in psych, a lot of the men have a lot of aggression. And they're like, I don't know why they asked me, maybe they thought I was enlightened in some way. I go and take your pillow and hit it. Like, you gotta it's like, emotion is energy in motion. if you don't know how to regulate that and you've regulated it with stimulants, which usually just stops the body into flight or fight, we think it speeds us up, but most people get a flight or fight reaction. So it's a freeze response you've learned. All of a sudden you got all this energy, you have to let it out. You have to punch, you have to fight. I remember I used to do sit-ups when I was quitting things and starting to do more exercise that year of doing paleo. I just get on the floor and start doing sit-ups all the time. And it's like energy is in motion. It does calm down. So that's good that you're doing it. I look like Miley Cyrus's mum. That's a new one. Thank you. Who says pot? You sound around 85. No judging here. You can say it however you like. Crikey. I am Australian. The channel is for health and wellness and surviving. I had over 60 surgeries. I missed most of my life, 7 major organs removed. I'm here, I'm well, I eat raw food, plant-based food. We make recipes and we chat. Oh, thanks, music. I'm glad I can share my energy. I don't know what that means, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. I'm not from the US. I am from Sydney, Australia. Wow, what's Turkey like? Oh, all these people from all over the world, Turkey, Japan. Make sure to like and subscribe. We've only got 10 more people to subscribe and we've reached 5,000 people. That's amazing. What a birthday gift. Oh, thanks, Anna. My mum always said, compare and despair. That's true. But that's easier said, especially from an adult. Like when I think of when I was at school, your whole life is comparing because of the way school systems are set up. They try teach you exactly the same thing, give every kid the same book, and then wonder why kids and then get kids to compete against each other and wonder why kids are comparing each other, skinnier, fitter, better, hair longer, shorter. They set the system up. So that's a hard place. School's a hard place. That's why people are traumatized by the time they're 15. Is just by like walking into the schoolyard, you feel like you've got like the whole world judging you, the whole world you care about. This is a real stream. I'm sorry if you are depressed. We're just trying to get to 5,000. I'm 33. My worst traumas started in school. I was like 14 or 15 and I've been coping ever since. We really need to look after the youth because in adulthood, that stuff comes back at you to haunt you. It's like this is what I always say is I have been near death many times, but like the stuff that happens when you're younger or when I first got sick is like, you feel like if somebody doesn't like you or something, your whole world ends at school. Like now, if some of them like me, 50 people probably don't. I've probably got 50 people in here right now that don't like me. I don't know. But like when you're young, the school system is set up that's all that matters. And that's all you know. And you live in little communities where you're not connected to like, not going into the city. You're not connected to thousands of people. I guess kids are more connected online, worldwide, but it is rough. School's rough. John Doe, I hope you don't hate yourself. How do you pronounce your name? Niharika? Is that Niharika? Niharika? Is that how you pronounce it? From India. Nice to meet you. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're getting to 5,000. I was forced to eat raw poop as a kid. I don't even know if that's serious or what. Who is this? This is me. I live in a school in Pennsylvania. I think What? Sometimes. Party boy, you're doing an amazing job. You're watching from Iran. Hello. What is the best diet food? So most of the reason you think you're big and depressed and you don't feel good is not because you need to restrict more. You need to get nutrients into your body and hydration, minerals, vitamins, all healthy food. Start putting good things in and your body will start putting good things out. I swear to goodness, it's so important. And I've just about eaten all this salad. I don't know what I'll be taking to the courthouse tomorrow. For those just tuning in, I've been called for jury duty, which I am getting out of because I will be away, but I've still got to go in. So I was going to take my salad, but I ate it all. Okay, dropping hair. I need to eat with my hair tied back. Got to go. I'll be back. Martha, your stoma is due for a cleanup. I'll see you soon, Helen. So I don't like the idea of like diet. Like I know diet is like what you eat, but like to me, diet has become like that you need to lose weight. You need to think about like good food, good sleep, good people, good choices, self-love. That's all the good things. Life is rough, so let all the stuff that shines become you. Like, no matter how rough life is, flowers are still bright. Trees, and they lift my mood. The ocean's still amazing, so I hang around them. I hang around all the stuff that's always good. Like, I look at this lemon. It is so high vibrational. It's like bright, it's energetic. I want this in my life. I want to hang around the stuff which is high energy. If life is feeling heavy, you've got to get away from heavy things, which is anything living, which has been like straight from source. Like that sun or source has literally just like kissed it and made it. Kissed it and made it. Hasn't been processed, has an interruption. Hang around that stuff. That's like all my trauma got me to hang around this stuff because I didn't want to feel trauma anymore. I'd do anything not to feel sad, upset, depressed, addicted. That's how I stay eating this food because I could never go back. Robert, I hope you have a good day at school. You're from New York City. I'm going to New York soon. 18 days or something? Burma. I wonder where that is. Hello. I'm glad the tips. Thank you for the birthday wishes. My age is 44. I do need to tie my hair back. I've got no band here though. Also, it's out because it had to dry. It's been in the ocean and I washed it and then I tie it back and put my hair curler in it. It is my 44th birthday. We've crossed 5K! Yay! We did it! Amazing! Sky's the limit. Thanks, guys. What a birthday gift. That's amazing. And I wouldn't be able to do without all of you, and especially you, Party Boy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Appreciate all of you, actually. I guess that's why I'm hanging out with you on my birthday. Okay. What's your opinion on yoga? So, if yoga did miracles for me, I'd be still doing it, but a lot of people say it does for them. I'm not great at like being still. I'm just like, I like running, like cardio, Pilates. Yeah, if it did, this is the whole thing with me. If I start doing something natural, and it completely gives me a whole lot of energy and fixes things, I would keep doing it. But with yoga, I didn't personally notice much difference, but a lot of people say it really helps them. So any thoughts on fasting? I think fasting can help many people, but I also believe that you're better off to learn how to put good food choices in, because you can get quite stressed out not eating. But if you find not having breakfast makes your day more efficient, and then you have a great lunch and dinner and you're not having any health problems, go for it. But all of these things you're mentioning, like the yoga and the fasting, none of them will fix anything. I have tried everything to fix my health. The only thing is consistency with good food that works for your body, sleep, low stress. People like, what is your skin? What is your hair? All the foundation is literally good choices in life. And then of course there's little extra things, but they don't do it. A lot of people, like there's hair products which are amazing that I use, but if I didn't do good food, good health, good sleep, it's not really going to do much. It definitely helps my hair, but I'm already boosting my hair. It just boosts it more. Literally, when you look after yourself, all those little creams and potions like supercharge you, because you're charging from the inside. It comes on and it's like boom. But in truth, you're better off working on good sleep, good people, low stress, find a life that you love, all of this. And yeah, do all of that. And then if there's extra things like that you want to pay for or do, yoga could be one of them, but it's only part of the story. So I actually just got a message from my sister. My little nieces want to wish me a happy birthday. And I can't believe we reached 5,000. That's amazing. That's made my day, guys. You guys actually made my day. I got to share my dinner with you. And we did, I feel like we talked about lots of stuff. You're very welcome. Like, I get asked every day, like, why, like, what's the secret to like the energy and all of that? And I promise there's no way about it without finally facing yourself, which is those daily things that we never learned to do, which we need to learn to do. So, which is self-care, self-love. So much love to all of you. Thank you so much for joining. I love talking to you. It is 20 to 8. So what do I eat for protein? I've talked on that before, but there's protein in all things, but I do love like lots of greens, seeds, pumpkin seeds, lentils. Per gram, they're even higher than meat per 100 grams. So if I need some, or I use hemp or peanut protein. Anyway, I'm going to jet and speak to my nieces. Lots of love. Have a great day and good night.